A new era.
A new chapter.
A great football awaits.
The Alliance.
The Alliance.
And so it begins.
And we are now moments away from the first snap of the final game of the Alliance weekend. The Salt Lake Stallions are in Tempe to take on the Arizona Hotshots. Warming up right now, there's John Wolford, the quarterback, will be playing for Rick Neuheisel tonight. On the other side, Josh Woodrum, who you might remember was in camp with the New York Giants and the Ravens, looking for his second shot. That's what this league is all about. I'm Alex Flanagan, joined in the studio by Cynthia Freeland, Rod Woodson, and Sean O'Hara, and we're super excited about our relationship with the NFL and to be coming to you today on the NFL Network. We've got a great game coming your way, but you guys, we got a taste of what this league can offer yesterday and a little earlier watching the game today.
A week after the Super Bowl, we got
right?
football.
It's back. And good football.
It's not back, it's always here. Still here.
And
always.
good
I've heard that
football,
before.
Rod. Rod, what'd you like about, what do you want to see more of?
Well, I just like the opportunity of second chances. And so for some of these guys, the first chances, because NFL coaches want players to be ready. Some kids are not ready going into the NFL. This is the opportunity and the platform for them to show their wares.
Yeah, we've already seen a lot of points. The Apollos scored 40 points in the first game, so that was great. I think the pace of play is a lot of fun to watch. It keeps the fans engaged. I think conditioning is a factor, but on a big picture level, you mentioned second chances, opportunity. I look at the standpoint of if you're a player that has a passion for this game and the NFL didn't work out, this is your place and your chance to develop your skills. One of my coaches, Kevin Gilbride, used to always talk about hone your craft.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to see tonight. It's what we've seen this weekend. Players honing their craft. The coaches that we saw first-time head coach Tim Lewis get his first win, so they're getting a part of it too. So I think it's great from that standpoint, seeing these players get to continue their passion for football.
Well, not only do we get to see it, but we get to hear it as fans. We get to hear it in such an exclusive way. We get to hear refs. We get to hear players, coaches. We get to see pretty much hits.
Yeah.
In the middle of the game, we talk to players, we talk to the refs, and of course, for me, we get this amazing technology aspect where we can real-time see the data and analytics that go into the game actually playing out on the field. That will do nothing but help these people's chances of making the NFL
I was told there'd
roster.
be no math.
There's always math.
You guys,
Sean.
at halftime, you have to tune in because we're going to have Steve Spurrier mic'd up. And let me tell you, it was awesome. All right, we're going to take you to Tempe and Sun Devil Stadium where Dan Hele, Maurice Jones-Drew, and Marvin Lewis are calling tonight's game.
All right, thank you, Alex. Here we go. The Hotshots running out onto the field. Their head coach, Rick Neuheisel, giving a pregame pep talk for the first time in a long time.
I don't care what the scoreboard says. I care about us. I care about each and every one of you putting on tape what you want as your business card. That's what I care about. The score will take care of itself. Stay within yourself, stay together, do your job, and know that the guy on your left and on your right is going to do his. That's what this game's all about. It's the beautiful thing about it. We talked about it last night.
Neuheisel has not missed a beat. Welcome to our NFL Network crew today for the Alliance after 16 years as the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Marvin Lewis joining us on the dark side in the television booth. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you, Dan.
Glad you're here. And our three-time Pro Bowl running back, Maurice Jones-Drew. As you can see, a lot of familiar faces in the Alliance, specifically when it comes to the head coaches. One of them, of course, Rick Neuheisel.
Yeah, Rick Neuheisel is very excited to be back in coaching, Dan. He is enjoying, he loves his group of guys. He likes their enthusiasm, their effort, their energy. And what he wants to do is go out here and play fast tonight. He wants to play up-tempo offense and get after it with his young quarterback, John Wolford.
And, of course, the Stallions out of Salt Lake, their head coach, Dennis Erickson, very well decorated. And MJD, you like what he's leaning on that running game, don't you?
Well, I tell you what, Coach Erickson really feels like the offensive line is the strength of his team. And with that, you have Matt Asiata and Brandon Oliver, two guys who played in the NFL, have a ton of NFL experience. They're going to lean on their running game and kind of shorten the game down a little bit. You're going to see a lot of under center from this team, Dan.
Obviously, a very, very different league here in the AAF. It is fast. It is new. It is exciting. You recognize some of the names you don't. Almost everybody in this league has been waived, fired, cut, replaced at some point in their career. That's one of the things that makes it so exciting. Let's send it down to our referee for this game, James Carter, for the coin toss.
Ray Anderson. Let's see.
Guys, Science of American football. Zone. Some you the visitors. Hotshots. Heads will be the Alliance logo. Is the team logo. Heads is the call. Defer. Zone.
Let's go, Zane! Let's go, Zona!
There he is, Arizona State head coach. I keep wanting to say new Arizona State head coach, but he's been there for one full season. Everybody's friend, Herm Edwards, placing the ball on the 25-yard line. No kickoffs in the Alliance. One of the new different things that they are testing out here. And good to see Herm always, Coach, isn't it?
It's always great to see Herm and his enthusiasm for the game of football and what he brings.
So we're going to get our first look at this Salt Lake City offense. Josh Woodrum, the 8th overall pick in the quarterback draft, going to be under center. They also have B.J. Daniels on the roster, a familiar name at quarterback, but he's on injured reserve for the next 4 weeks because of an injured tricep. They certainly like what they have in Josh Woodrum. You can see the numbers there. Spent some time with the Giants and preseason with the Ravens. First down, first play in Salt Lake City history, and the pass is complete right away. The tackle made by Steve Boharnis. That's Anthony Denham, the big tight end on the catch.
I really like what they're doing here. Quick, short pass to get their quarterback in rhythm. We've seen so many quarterbacks throughout the weekend be so erratic, getting hit early. Protect your quarterback, let him get the ball out.
We heard the guys talk about it earlier in games. Takes the offense a little while to catch up with the defense at this point in the season. Remember, these teams have only essentially had one practice game as Brandon Oliver is taken down right away. An active game so far by Steve Boharnis, his second straight tackle.
Yeah, you see Boharnis again anticipating it, little pressure up the middle, making the lineman miss and making the play in the backfield.
Yeah, penetration is always tough, Coach, when you're a running back trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. But that's part of this league, is you're going to see some offensive linemen have miscommunication. You just want to kind of sure that up as the season goes along.
Penetration, disrupt the run.
First drive of the ball game for Woodrum and the Stallions, looking at a 3rd and 8 situation. 4-man rush for the Hotshots right over the outstretched arms of Demorne Pearsonell.
Nice job of the line stunt there up front, getting pressure in Woodrum's face, make a high ball.
So first drive, first punt for Salt Lake. The strength of this offense, according to Dennis Erickson, is the offensive line. Defensively, he also believes that his defensive line is stout as well. We're going to get our first look at that Salt Lake defensive line here in just a moment.
I think one of the things in this will be the return game, an opportunity to really make some field position plays and returning the football.
Austin Rico punting. The ball bounces for a minute before it is picked up by Rashad Ross. And coming out for the Hotshots, their starting quarterback, John Wolford, out of Wake Forest. They really, really like what they've seen out of Wolford so far. Some thought that Trevor Knight could end up being the starting quarterback, but Wolford beat him out in camp.
Yeah, Dan, I really like what Coach Neuheisel told us yesterday. He feels he's the spark for his offensive football team.
Trevor Knight, you will likely see him at some point tonight. They told us that they had a special package for the former Oklahoma and A&M quarterback. First play for the Hotshots is a handoff to Jarrell Presley, running back out of New Mexico.
I love the motion right here with Coach Neuheisel. You're trying to cause confusion with the defenses and get their eyes where they're not supposed to be. You have the running back does a great job of pressing the hole and cutting back, driving his feet, getting some yards.
Well, we're going to have a flag there. 7-yard gain for Presley, who ran for nearly 3,000 yards in 4 seasons at New Mexico.
It's a great job there, again, drawing the defense off sides, but you notice how quickly the Hotshots were out of the huddle, up to the line of scrimmage, and ready to go the next play, MJD.
That's right, Coach. Tempo is what we heard, right?
That's what he kept telling us, tempo.
Well, I feel like in most of the games we've seen so far, tempo a very important point in this league as a whole. Presley, again, lined up behind Wolford in the backfield, looking at 1st and 10 after the penalty. Again, Presley not getting a whole lot there.
Yeah, nice job. Right side of the defensive line with great knocking back, square shoulders. Here they go on the ball.
There's that tempo you guys are talking about. Take a look at the starters, offensive line, and then the skilled players there. That pass broken up right away by Cody Brown. You're going to be seeing a lot of Cody Brown tonight.
One of the things that when we talked with Coach Neuheisel, he said the accuracy of John Woolard was one of the things he saw.
All right, so here's another look. That penalty.
Nice job. Nice scrape of the ball by Cody Brown, knocking the ball away. Little sprint roll by the quarterback, Wolford.
Cody Brown out of Arkansas State. They call him the Hitman.
Oh.
Very good athlete. Played 3 sports in high school, like I'm sure you did, MJD.
Only 2, Dan.
Okay. All right. 2nd and 20 now. Wolford lucky he wasn't picked off there. Standing all by himself was Anthony Williams.
And that's one of the concerns, Coach. When you're 6'1", and those defensive ends are 6'5", 6'4", and they're tall, they can get those hands up. You got to throw through the tree, something like Drew Brees has done in his career.
Yeah. Yeah, nice job there. See the pressure coming, and again, really nice job. Number 94 there has done a great job and had a great camp for these guys. They really feel great about him. Carlin Schultz.
Yeah, Silver Sealinga, also a guy that was getting pressure there. That's a guy that played 7 seasons in the NFL. 3rd and 20, pass complete, but only picks up about 3 as Josh Huff is the man making the grab. This is another guy with NFL experience, former 3rd-round pick of the Eagles that they're pumped about.
Yeah, Mike Hanneman coming in and making a nice tackle from the safety spot. I know defensive coordinator for the Stallions, Donnie Henderson, feels really good about his secondary guys and his guys' ability to put pressure on the quarterback up front.
Jeff Locke back to punt for the Hotshots. And that one will land at about the 15-yard line. Fair catch called for. 0-0. Under 12 minutes to go, the first quarter of the first game of the season for the Salt Lake and Arizona AAF.
Anything for each other. But this time, those bonds were definitely tested.
Frog leg for my baby brother.
Don't frogs have like 2 legs? So they should have 2 of these. Since I'm active duty and she's family, I was able to set my sister up with a sweet membership from Navy Federal. If you hold it closer, it looks bigger.
Eat your food.
My big sis likes to make tiny food, and I'm okay with that.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
We talked about the differences between the football you're used to, NFL, college, different rules here in the Alliance. No kickoffs. The ball's going to be started at the 25-yard line. Every team must go for 2-point conversions. There are no extra points. There are also no onside kicks. Instead, you're allowed to go for a 4th and 12 conversion attempt from your own 28-yard line. That's when it gets exciting.
Oh, it's going to be. That's a great innovation in this with the Alliance, ability to do that.
Woodrum working out of the shotgun. Quick handoff, met behind the line of scrimmage. That defense, Burr Harness again on the tackle.
I never think it's a good idea to have a linebacker or a receiver trying to block a linebacker on a running play.
Well, they're trying to run the away action to get the linebackers to flow back, and Brahanis does a nice job of staying home right there and sitting in there, and also 51 Edmund Robinson, who played his college football there at Newberry.
Not a lot going on the ground so far for Salt Lake. -2 yards on 2 attempts. They go to the air here. Nice catch made by Adonis Jennings. That's going to be about 5 yards short of the first down, setting up 3rd and medium.
You know, one of the things I really feel like in this league, in this new league, is that you have to stay ahead of the change. With young quarterbacks, young offensive linemen, you don't want to see all these exotic pressures or rushes or different stunts. You want to stay ahead of the chains and kind of control the tempo of the game.
You can see the starters for the Hotshots on defense. One name to keep an eye on, 59 Steven Johnson. Probably the best player on the defensive side of the ball for Arizona.
Safety Raheem Moore was a 2nd-round pick of the Denver Broncos.
Woodrum feeling pressure, just gets it off. And the caught is made for the first down. Anthony Denham going low to get that one.
Great pocket awareness here by Woodrum, stepping in the pocket, feeling the pressure coming from his right, sliding up a little bit, pump faking, letting this guy get through the contact to catch the ball.
10-yard gain for Denham. 2 catches, 14 yards so far in a game that is just 5 minutes young. Working from the 31. Gonna go for about 2. Joel Buonio.
You know, Buonio led them in this practice game that they had, and led them in rushing with 54 yards. He was kind of the workhorse that day, with Asiato being injured at that point.
Yeah, Asiata didn't play in that game. Brandon Oliver just picked up a couple of weeks before the season started, so he's been getting a lot of run. He was an undrafted free agent with the Bears, spent some time with the Packers, Jets, and Titans as well. That pass nearly picked off, broken up by Sterling Moore. You talked about him earlier.
Yeah, Sterling Moore, a guy who's been in the NFL, played at the highest game, the Super Bowl with the Pats. This guy's been around the league a long time. There's not much he hasn't seen. And here, he fills the RPO, drives a slant route, almost gets a chance to get a pick, Coach.
A nice job of driving it. Good awareness there and playing through the receiver. Great job.
Sterling Moore played 7 NFL seasons, 31 starts over that time, as MJD mentioned. Played with New England in Super Bowl 46. And, of course, the game that the Patriots lost to the Giants. 3rd and 9 here. That pass is caught by Jordan Leslie. First down, Stallions.
Yeah, he did a great job isolation out there on cornerback Robert Nelson, man, the nickel defense. He got him turned, was able to come back and get the ball. Great delivery and throw by Woodrum.
There's that offensive line that Coach Erickson is talking about as well, being able to keep the pocket clean for your quarterback to step up and make a decisive throw as well.
Woodrum, 4 of 6 for 32 yards so far. First down on the 45. Matt Asiata checking into the game, and that's who Woodrum was looking for, a little high.
Matt Asiata is more of a downhill runner than he is a screen guy. Now, I understand why you would try to do that to try to catch the defense off guard, but his best traits are keeping his shoulders square and running between the A gap, which is between the guard and the center, and obviously the B gap is between the guard and the tackle.
Yeah, Maurice, he's not a big receiver of the football when he was at Utah or the Vikings.
Did have that 1 year where he had nearly 900 scrimmage yards, filling in for the suspended Adrian Peterson. Second down pass here, nearly caught, but then broken up. Solid defensive play by Sterling Moore.
And one of the biggest things of playing defensive back is not to panic when the ball's in the air. Does a great job getting back in sequence with the receiver and playing through the hands.
Yeah, check that. Dexter McDougal,
that was
the
McDougal,
defender there.
yes.
Coach, are you blitzing here on 3rd and 10?
I think they're going to come at him there. I think Coach Aliotti is going to bring some kind of pressure. Nope.
Drops back.
They do the opposite. They drop 8.
Trying to confuse him a little bit, and it works.
When we talked to Coach Aliotti at practice yesterday, that's one of the things you guys remember, Dan, that he talked about is the ability to drop 8.
Yep.
Would be a big thing in this.
Identifying the blitzer and where pressure is coming from is always going to be tough. We only have 5 weeks to get ready for it. So that's where the defense is ahead of the offense here. I know Rod Woodson doesn't like those type of things, but hey, it's part of the game.
And the quarterback feels the simulated pressure, and yet now there's an extra man back there in one of the zones he thought would be voided.
Rico's punt, fair caught by Rashad Ross. Still no score. 8 minutes to go here in the first. Here's a great shot, courtesy of our Wheels Up Skycam. You'll be seeing this a lot over the course of our Alliance football season. One of the many toys that we have, the replay officials mic'd up. We have a sky judge who can make decisions, correct mistakes that are missed on the field.
Gotta love the tempo of this game, guys.
Gotta love the tempo.
They don't waste a lot of time, Coach.
No time.
Darrell Presley in at running back, takes the handoff, tries to turn the corner, and he does. Good run for Presley, shoved out of bounds by Cody Brown after a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, one of my defensive coordinators told me, no edge, no chance. Well, the Stallions have an edge here, and the linebacker just isn't able to make the play. Great job here by Presley finding a way to use his tools and get around.
Yeah, that was Trevor Riley missing the tackle. Presley not going anywhere here. Met immediately in the backfield by Anthony Williams. That's going to go down as a loss of 2.
Yeah, he tried to do a little bit too much there. Quarterback John Wolford yesterday talked about Presley and his ability to make people miss, though, which we saw in the first down snap.
Presley back in 2014 led all of college football, averaging 9.5 yards per carry. I don't know, MJD, is that good?
That's great, Dan.
Flushed out of the pocket. Wolford going to keep it, picks up about half a yard. Mike Purcell, the big nose tackle, giving chase.
When you go empty as an offensive coordinator, you're trying to help your quarterback identify the coverage to figure out, so he can play faster, figure out where his first read is going to be. The Stallions' defensive line, they're just getting pressure, and they're seeing the smaller quarterback. They're going to get in his face and put their hands up and try to make him uncomfortable as much as possible.
Carter showed again with great pressure. You see him getting pressure and forcing him out of the pocket.
This is Jeff Locke punting. And that ball is taken at the 32-yard line, breaks a couple of tackles, and a nifty return by DeMorna Pearsonell.
Yeah, who's filling in for the injured Kalen Clay tonight.
And there's a look at some of the nuggets about the Salt Lake Stallions. Randy Moeller, the GM, Dennis Erickson, the head coach. 17 players from Utah colleges, part of the allotment system here, which is a great idea because there's obviously regional interest and a lot of familiar names to those in the Utah area.
It's really great for the fans to have identification with a lot of these guys on the squad already.
Dennis Erickson, nearly 50 total seasons as a football coach.
That's a lot, Maurice.
Now we're getting back to it, Dan.
Asiata may have lost one there. Marcus Harden, Will Sutton III, the 2 men on the tackle.
You know, Will Sutton was a great talent coming out of Arizona State, drafted by the Bears, played there for the Bears, did a nice job within the NFL, and trying to earn his way back there. You got to love that.
Yeah, third-round pick back in 2014. Yes, Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year in 2012, had 18 starts over 3 seasons.
I always remember him. I think he won number 1, Morris.
Brandon Oliver checking into the game for the Stallions, and Breaks one tackle, puts his head down, burrows forward for a couple more. That's an 8-yard gain for Oliver.
This is what Coach Erickson talked about when we were on the phone with him, about getting downhill. And they're finding ways now to pull guards and tackles and blocking down. They're doing a really good job of that. Very athletic here, until he misses the block. But again, Brandon Oliver's able to read the guard's block and put his foot in the ground and get some positive yards.
I think the other thing Coach Erickson said that he had 3 backs that he loved.
Yeah, Oliver, Buonio, and Asiata. They're going to run the ball more than they throw it. 3rd and 2 here. Decide to go to the air.
Nice job.
Complete Nick Truesdale, one of 2 tight ends active today, making the catch.
Now this is what you do against man coverage. Young receivers, young people watching. Watch how he presses the linebacker forward, and he's physical. Creates separation, catches the ball, and gets going and gets the first down. You got to be physical in this game when you're trying to catch the ball versus man coverage.
Truesdale, one of the older players here in the Alliance, spent some time on the Vikings practice squad.
He grew up in the Cincinnati area and just never was able to really, the physical potential he showed to get it out there on the field.
Woodrum, incomplete. Thought about running it for a minute there. And he was looking for Denham again.
I think this ball hit Denham right in the head. It's hard when your quarterback's scrambling to try to come from the right and go back to the left, but as he's sliding, bing, goes right through him.
Yeah, it's the second one in this game that's hit one of his receivers either in the face.
You were very nice, sir, MJ.
Well, Coach, it's not like practice. This isn't a controlled environment, so it's a little bit different.
You catch it, you're going to get hit.
That's right.
So you might as well catch it anyway.
That's what they tell you.
Is that what you tell them, Coach?
That's right. You're going to get hit.
Oh.
2 yards for the Stallions. Buonio on the carry.
Yates is a guy that Coach Aliotti raved about. Now watch him here take on the block, disengage, and find a way to get to the ball carrier in a hurry.
Nice job. Great separation there. There's a good shot of Coach Aliotti. Been a lot of years up at the University of Oregon and coordinated some fantastic defenses up there.
He's from Pittsburgh. I'm from Antioch. It's the next city. We went to dinner a couple times together.
You're not talking about Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
No, Pittsburgh, California. No H.
East Bay.
That's right.
3rd and 8. Zips it over the middle. Unable to hold on is Pearsonell.
Saquon Edwards, nice job getting the ball loose. Again, Saquon, nice job. Again, has experience being in the NFL and getting the opportunity to come back and show he need to earn his way back there.
Well, Coach, you talk about you have to catch the ball when the ball hits your hands here. You have an opportunity to make a play for your team. Your quarterback is actually playing really well, putting the ball where it needs to be. His receivers have to help him out.
Yeah, we've got to be impressed with Josh Woodrum, what he's done thus far in this game. He has put some balls on the money that should be caught.
Now, only 5 of 11. I don't know if that goes as a pass breakup or a drop pass, but he's had at least 2 or 3 that probably should have been caught. Still waiting for our first score here in Tempe. We're back after this. Welcome back to Tempe. Still no score between Salt Lake and Arizona. The Hotshots expect to be one of the better teams in the league, but it is the great unknown. We're kind of learning as we go here about a brand new football league. A look at the Hotshots facts here. Rick Neuheisel, of course, we've touched on. The head coach, Phil Savage, an experienced general manager. 8 players from Arizona colleges, and every player on this roster, outside of 3, has NFL experience, which is pretty impressive, all things considered. That's going to be a short 2-yard gain.
Again, just like the offensive line for the Stallions, the strength on defense is this up front area. And you can see a great job there, guys. Big, strong men up front playing very, very stout. Palapay right there. Nice job, screen square number 95.
That's left guard Josh Allen down on the ground, and you can see the medical personnel coming out. A very unique situation here in the Alliance. It's not medical personnel for every team. It's the league that employs the doctors and the trainers. So they'll be running out from both sidelines.
Well, that's important, too, because you have different angles of seeing what happened. And so when you get out there, you get people communicating, the player can communicate, and they feel comfortable and safe on the field.
Yeah, I think it is. It's a unique thing and a great deal to have people come from both sidelines like this and sharing it.
Let's take another look at what may have happened to Josh Allen, the guard out of Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah, quarterback misreads the read option, and then, you know, like we tell backs.
Yeah, it looks like Wolford just rolled up on him.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll just be something he can walk off here.
Allen played in 3 games with the Bucs back in 2014. Native of Dallas, Texas, working on him here, and he's going to be able to walk off the field under his own power. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it is. You're the player from the Stallions.
You love that? Put some tape on it.
Tape on it.
Brother, I just got rolled up. I can't put tape on this. I got to make sure I'm okay before I come back out here.
He might like him being in the game. The other guy might be a little better.
Well, when you weigh 300 and plus pounds, 345 pounds, you probably would like me out here not at full speed.
Hey, don't add 30 pounds to Josh Allen. He's not going to like that when he watches this game back.
I'm saying not Josh Allen, the defender.
Oh, I got you. Okay,
yes.
okay. Saying, no, I don't want Josh Allen coming after me now. 2nd and 7, pass zipped in there and complete. Richard Mullaney out of Oregon State making the catch.
Yeah, great job there by quarterback John Wolford. Nice on tempo. Here we go. Going back to the ball again.
Gerald Presley in the backfield there with Wolford. Wolford back in 2017 led the ACC with 29 touchdown passes, so the kid can sling it. Speaking of, has a man past the 50. That's caught by Rashad Ross. It's a pretty ball.
It was a nice job. Coach Neuheisel talked about Rashad Ross and how impressive he's been, as well as John Wolford yesterday.
Well, you see here the safeties they're playing some type of cover 6, which is quarter, half.
It looked like they were playing quarters across the board, and they set down number 2, little number switch beater, as we would call it. They're trying to beat that 4 across, so eat up number 2, make it one-on-one.
That was a 42-yard gain followed by a 9-yard run from Presley.
Again, Presley's making guys miss in the open field, making these defenders look silly.
Hotshots moving now, on pace for the best drive of the game. Presley picks up the first down, steps over the defender inside the 10-yard line before he's finally dragged down by Hanneman.
That's bad there, man.
Coach, they're doing tempo. You got to remember that. But let's look at this. First of all, great job of staying behind your guys, reading your linemen, putting your foot in the ground and getting north and trying to find a way to get in the end zone.
Larry Rose III checking in the game for the Hotshots. Here's Rose here. And he picks up 4.
Yeah, Coach Neuheisel really didn't say he was going to run the ball this much. He was talking about airing it out and letting it rip using tempo.
You see tempo, and we're going fast.
2nd and goal for Wolford. Wolford a pass, man, wide open in the end zone. Gerald Christian, first touchdown in Hotshots history.
This is an old school West Coast concept here. You're going to have the tight end run a stick out like he's going to break out and then go up, and everyone runs with the receiver obviously on the outside and the running back going to the flat, and just opens up again. When you're going tempo, a lot of miscommunication by your defense because you're playing so fast.
And here we go, 2-point conversion. If you're waiting for the kicker, don't hold your breath. No extra points in this game, my friends. The 2-point conversion is underway. Wolford hands it off up the middle. Larry Rose III converts. 8-0. Hotshots on top of Salt Lake with just over a minute to go here in the first.
Again, the speed, the tempo, you got the score, then we're right on the ball for the two-point play. You got to really like the up-tempo speed of the whole Alliance. And again, it's going to force the defenses to have to play 11-on-11 football on those two-point plays.
And remember, it's a 35-second play clock, so you're not going to see elaborate touchdown celebration, stuff that's been choreographed. You got to get back on the ball and get ready for that two-point conversion.
Well, here we see John Wolford just reading again. They just leave him wide open. Miscommunication.
Gerald Christian, Mr. Irrelevant back in 2015, the last player selected by the Arizona Cardinals.
It's always good, Coach, to score, be the first one to score in your game. So now the monkey's off your back, and now you put the pressure on the other side.
Bonio tries to do a little mini hurdle, might have picked up one. Niles Morgan said, "You're not hurdling me, brother."
Dan, that Mr. Irrelevant, it's a pretty good deal, man. You get a nice trip.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's a good deal.
You get a parade,
right,
a free
you get
trip
a parade.
to Disney.
Yeah, it's you could be the pick before you get nothing.
That's a great point. Heck, you could be a 6th-round pick, 5th-round pick. You're not getting
a second-round pick, Coach. You get nothing, right?
Well, you're getting paid a little bit.
Well,
all right. I'm just
afford your own trip, MJ.
Just throwing it out there.
You can afford your trip, Morris.
2nd and 9 for Woodrum. Jennings picks up the first down for the Stallions, and Darden is the man that sends him out of bounds after a 14-yard gain.
Yeah, we had Eric Darden in camp with us with the Bengals in 2015, and he's really got a great skill set. Just sometimes things just don't work out, as they say. The numbers get you. But it was good to see Eric yesterday at practice, and I'm glad he's seen him get another opportunity here. In fact, I was really impressed with their communication in practice between the two safeties, Eric Darden and Raheem Moore.
Illegal formation call on the hot shot. So when Dargan sees you, does he come up and give you a hug, or does he say, "Hey, Coach, I'm going to prove you wrong now"?
Well, I think they're all out to prove us wrong, but no, he was good. And that's one of the toughest things, and Coach Newheisel talked about that yesterday, is having to cut the roster down.
Having the inactives.
Right. Well, both cutting it down from where they were to camp, down from into the 52, and then the inactives.
All right, looks like we have reached the end of the first quarter. 8-0 Arizona on top of Salt Lake. We've seen the touchdown pass. We've seen the two-point conversion. We're going to see a whole lot more. 3 quarters to go here in Tempe, folks. It's the Stallions and the Hotshots in the Alliance.
Monday on NFL Total Access, we will talk about Kyler Murray. We will hear from Kyler Murray, a scouting report, a quarterback's review, and the man himself. Monday, 7 Eastern.
NFL Network is celebrating Black History Month.
When we get out of our comfort zone is when we grow our strongest.
I don't think they were aware of the political climate.
Super Bowl MVP, Doug Williams.
NFL Network's celebration of Black History Month continues Friday at 8.
Oh my goodness, this one had a little bit of everything.
It's a great day. We got football, baby.
I got you on this one.
It's a pleasure, man. I like that.
He makes big plays.
What this guy brings is hope.
What does he need to do to win it?
That's priceless. You can't get that from a lot of people.
Ready? I'm ready to go.
He was the can't-miss football player.
I'm coming hard.
The guy has been able to do it all.
Caught! Touchdown!
Can we talk football?
The NFL draft is officially open.
Which team gets it right tonight?
Bang! What a catch! It is all on the line.
The Patriots have won their 6th Super Bowl title.
We're back
folks. You're watching the Alliance of American Football on NFL Network. So proud to be a partner with NFL Network this year, and it really is the perfect marriage. MJD, myself, obviously work at NFL Network, spent a lot of time there in the offseason. This is perfect programming for our network, MJD.
It's awesome. You know, football for a long time has been over during this week, but now we have some young players who are trying to get back in the league, getting quality reps and quality opportunities to showcase their abilities.
Can't tell you how many people, Coach, said, "Oh, I'm sad football's going away." We quickly corrected them on Twitter. It is not.
Got a couple former Bengals out there on the defense right now. Carl Bradford, Marcus Hardison. Nice job by both of them there.
Wanyo picks up maybe a yard. Trenton Thompson, the big nose tackle out of Georgia, first man to meet him there. Thompson, an interesting story. He was actually the #1 defensive tackle coming out of high school. Might be the most traditional NFL defensive lineman on the roster, according to Nick Aliotti.
Trenton really had a fine career at Georgia. He just hasn't been able to stick in the NFL.
There's Buonulo again, taking the toss, and then upended right away by Robert Nelson after a 3-yard gain.
Robert Nelson, I mean, he's playing lights out right now. He's covering, coming up and tackling, showcasing some ability that some corners in the NFL, Coach, we don't want to do as much.
Well, people always talk about run defending. They think it's the big guys up front, but if your secondary won't support in the run, you're not going to be very good run defense. And McDougal did a nice job of forcing the ball outside right away.
Well, in this league, a business decision for a corner is just to make the tackle any way you can, right?
Yes, find a way to stay on the field.
3rd and 7. Woodrum, flanked by Buonyo over the middle, and that's behind Kenny Bell. Have a flag on the play.
You know, one of the things I think that we're speaking about is the ability for the NFL teams to look at this video and say, that guy will tackle. Because otherwise, all he's going to do is be working out in shorts. But when they can have video of him actually playing physical and tackling, provides for a great opportunity for him.
Legal formation call on the defense. And there's a lot of NFL scouts that came through when all these teams were holding training camp in San Antonio. It's almost like a combine type environment / training camp. Every NFL team had scouts and representatives.
Well, one of the great things about the Alliance is that you can sign a contract with the NFL and play for that team and leave.
That is one of the attractive things for these players. They are signing 3-year, $250,000 contracts, but they essentially have an out clause if they're signed by the NFL. Buonyo with a nifty move, very close to picking up the first down before Eric Dargan drags him down after a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, nice job again. Nice cut and dip inside, Mo. You see that?
Coach, you used to play running back in youth footballers. I see it. Dip in, dip out.
Yep.
Gets his foot in the ground, gets skinny as well. But always remember, defenders are always taught to rip at the ball here, and a great job of protecting it with Dargan ripping at it on the back end.
So Buonyo staying in there on 2nd and 1. 3 wide receivers to the left for Woodrum. There's Buonyo again. He's going to be right at that first down line.
Bowers. Again, great play there.
What I like what I'm seeing from the linebackers for the Hotshots, they're coming downhill right away. They're not allowing the offensive linemen to get around the blocks and get up on them. They're meeting them at the line of scrimmage, creating penetration and forcing that running back to make a choice immediately where he can't be patient.
Well, to your point, just a very active linebacker group from what we've seen so far from the Hotshots. 3rd and 1. Buonyo picks up the first down and a couple extra.
Again, we saw the strength of the Utah team right there, the Stallion team up front in the middle of that line, creating that crease that he's able to get up through for the first down.
Yeah, Coach Erickson, his team is going to be able to get that tough yard. When you know they're going to run the ball, and they know they're going to run the ball, they're going to find a way to get a yard and continue to drive.
And look at the size of the O-line. Other than the center, we got about an average of about 325.
I don't think any running back wouldn't want to run anything better than that.
Fatasi, Oatafa, Bennett, Cummings. Pass complete down to the 2-yard line. Offensive line did their job there, as did Pearson L.
So much of offensive football these days comes off this run-pass options here. And you see a great job here. The quarterback, number 53, steps up. Bonar steps up, who's been making all the plays in the backfield, and they use his aggressiveness against him and throw the ball in behind him.
And you're hoping your safety, Raheem Moore, can step up and make a play there, but he's sitting flat-footed trying to figure out the play.
Buonio down to the 1-yard line. Again, Bo Arness is there. Raheem Moore.
You know, Bruins, we're never afraid to get in there and get in the mix, Dan. I just wanted to let you know Raheem Moore, out of the great UCLA, comes up, identifies the play, and flies in there and makes a tackle. That's what you're supposed to do.
Hey, Marvin, it took him until 10:44 in the second quarter to get the UCLA.
I was trying to hold it back, guys. I'm trying not to be too biased.
Thank you. Asiata checking into the game. Gets the ball in for the touchdown.
That's a real run there.
It is. That's Matt Asiata is a guy who did this for the Vikings.
Yes, he did.
They would take Adrian Peterson out of the game and put him in on goal line situations because of the way he ran the ball and how he ran behind his pads. You see there, he's just running through guys.
Yeah, nice job, as you said, running behind his pads, keeping his legs alive, and gets in for the touchdown. So here we go now, the 2-point play. You know, I talked with Coach Aliotti quite a bit yesterday about this and how important red zone defense is going to be in this league.
What is your call here, Coach?
Well, we're going to see they're going to go run some kind of run-pass option. 85 is going to come back across the formation here, the tight end. There we go.
Woodrum keeps it in for the conversion. There you go.
Well, that's why you've been a coach for so long.
He did it for 16 years.
Tony Romo.
Come on. Got Marvin Lewis in the house.
That's what I'm talking about.
Saw that coming. Woodrum on the conversion. Asiata on the touchdown run.
Nice job by Trisdale coming back across. He creates the block.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
One touchdown, 1 2-point conversion apiece for Salt Lake and Arizona. The Stallions told us they were going to run the ball, and run the ball they have. In their scrimmage, they had more rushing yards than any other team in the Alliance, 155 yards in their preseason scrimmage against Memphis, and they look to be on pace to maybe match that. The big O-line doing their job for Salt Lake.
They are, you know, but the other thing about that is the Hotshots had 128 yards rushing, Dan, in there. So both football teams are built trying to run the football a little bit.
Jarrell Presley faked the handoff to him, and that looks like it's tipped at the line.
Coach Neuheisel talked about RPOs, and that's why they went with John Wolford, because his knowledge of it and the command he had of it and how he could pull it and throw it and run and the illusion of the run and all those different things. There again, sometimes just being short in stature, like some of us have to deal with, the ball gets batted down. I'm talking about you, Dan.
It's not easy being 5'6", MJD, but you do a lot with it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
2nd and 10, again, fake the handoff, and he's taken down right away. Carter Schultz, who they are so high on, they're almost immediately.
Yeah, really high on Carter Schultz. This is the third disruptive play we've seen, you know, literally this game already.
You have to either give this ball or get rid of it. You cannot, because the offensive line is not going to be able to block everyone in the RPO world. We're going to leave one guy and let the quarterback deal with him.
That's one of the dangers of it. If you don't throw it on rhythm, you're going to have an opportunity to get hit.
Carter Schultz spent the 2000 preseason with the Browns. Back to pass on 3rd and 17. That one's tipped again.
Yeah, another tip ball there, Dan. It's hard in your passing game. If you get the balls tipped at the line, you're not going to be very productive.
Well, listen, they list John Wolford at 6'1", realistically probably closer to maybe a shade under 6 feet.
I think I had him.
Yeah, I think
bit.
I think I did too, Coach.
Dan, maybe.
Listen, there's one guy in this group that John Wolford was taller than, and it wasn't Marvin, and it wasn't me.
It wasn't me either. I don't know who you're talking about.
Jeff Locke punting. And that's fumble. Ball's on the ground. Looks like the Hotshots got it.
You know, I mentioned that earlier, the fact that Denore Pearsall was going to be substituting for the number Caitlin Clay, who was out inactive tonight, and so he's not been their regular returner. And here we have a big turnover.
And Dexter McDougal, Johnny, on the spot.
You know, special teams, they may not win you a game, but they can lose you games, and it's plays like this, and you want to have guys back. And this is another way guys can get in the NFL as well, because everyone's looking for a sure catching guy that can catch punts and be explosive.
Right. Without having kickoffs in the game, we know the importance of the punting game, both the punt game and punt return, punt defense.
Coach, you know where that punter went to school? No, I'm not going to say it. Just saying.
So 1st and 10 on the 37. Time for Wolford. Has a man. Got him. Touchdown, Hotshots. Rashad Ross hauls it in, doing the little touchdown dance. 36-yard score for Arizona.
I mean, Wolford there looks exactly like Drew Brees when he steps into the pocket. He has to look up to be able to see the guy downfield, and puts a great ball out there for his receiver Ross to go catch.
The other Drew Brees-like quality here was, by the play calling, is as soon as you have a turnover, just take the shot.
That's right. I wouldn't have did that, Coach. I'd have probably ran the ball and then
You told me you would take the shot on second down.
That's right.
Worked out there as they line up again quickly for the 2-point conversion. They made their first one. Presley in the backfield next to Wolford. Give to Presley. Stays on his feet. In for the conversion again. Kept those feet moving just like you're supposed to do, MJD.
As a running back, you're never down. Just keep driving your feet. Your offensive lineman, especially when you're that close, will help get you into the end zone.
Defense.
A touchdown by Rashad Ross sets up the conversion, and this is what set up the touchdown. Dexter McDougal hops on the muff punt, and here, look at the touchdown. Rashad Ross, 2 catches, 77 yards, and this touchdown. Keeps the feet moving. We got a 16-8 ball game. Back after this.
For the first time in the history of pro sports, here's the app as fast as every player in the game. The Alliance app delivers revolutionary technology, real-time play-by-play gaming, instant interactivity, truly a game changer. Get the Alliance app today. Live predictive gaming at full speed. Call the plays. Unprecedented and at your fingertips. Available in the App Store and Google Play today.
Is this beautiful $5 pitcher from Buffalo Wild Wings half full or half empty? Well, that depends, really. Are you from New England? Come in this weekend for $5 select pitchers at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Welcome back. 16-8 Arizona on top of Salt Lake. A muffed punt set up a touchdown pass to Arizona State alum Rashad Ross, playing in his old stadium. That has to be fun for him. And Salt Lake trying to get something going once again as Josh Woodrum is under center. And feeling the heat right away by that Arizona defense. He's just going to throw it away. Edmund Robinson, the first man there to give chase.
Yeah, it's again Edmund Robinson again applying the pressure. The second time he's made a play like this in the football game already. Do a great job trying to block an outside rusher with a tight end. It's tall duty there.
It's never a great chance for the quarterback to be able to sit in the pocket and do that.
Yeah.
But Coach Aliotti, a player's coach, gets his players to play for him and gets guys excited. We talked about how they're going to rotate.
And Brandon Oliver out past the 30-yard line. Pickup of 7 for Oliver.
Huge pickup there now. Brings the third down and medium now. 3rd and 4 for him. 3rd and 3. So great pickup on second down.
Coach, let me ask you this. when you have such a big offensive line, physical, why try to throw the ball on first down? Why not try to run and get them going and then use the play action
Well, they're
pass?
just trying to counter what they think the defensive strength is going to be and trying to throw the ball when they might have some single high looks, single high coverage.
3rd and 4 here, 4 for 6 on third down conversions so far for the Stallions. Woodrum going to throw. Woodrum into double coverage, picked off. Tremendous play by Robert Nelson.
You talk about playmaker. Right here, he goes up as if he's the receiver to go and make the play. Goes over him, catches the ball. I mean,
Coach Aliotti spoke yesterday about his ability to run and cover. He really felt good about it. You see him trying to stay square as he can in the pedal as long as he can. It gives him an opportunity to then turn and seek the football.
But we talked about this, Coach, last night about guys that like to play with their butt to the sideline and shuffle, and this guy stays square and is able to go and get the ball
as long as he could.
That was a tremendous pick by Robert Nelson, the best coverage corner on the football team, according to coaches. Played 20 NFL games over 3 seasons with Cleveland, Houston, and the New York Jets.
So can they hear our voices, or what are we doing? Are we in break? Or?
Apologies for the technical difficulties. Still working out a few of the kinks, but we're getting there.
That's a football game, man.
Hey.
It was all that fire Coach Lewis was spitting.
I have been very impressed so far with this Hotshots team on both sides of the ball. We just saw an interception there. We've seen some fine runs from Presley, who has 7 carries for 47 yards. We'll get a good look at Robert Nelson there. And this quarterback, John Wolford, out of Wake Forest, you can see there's a reason he led the ACC in touchdown passes.
Yeah, Coach Newheisel hit it on the head. He is the spark. And we got another sudden change situation here now with the ball at midfield again.
You taking a shot here, Coach?
No, they're not going to take a shot this time. They're going to wait. They're going to do like JD would do. They're going to wait till second down.
Okay, all right. And here we are at second down. So let's see what they draw up. Interesting situation here. Hugh Freeze, originally offensive coordinator for Arizona. He, of course, took that coaching job at Liberty as that pass is broken up. So you have Rick Neuheisel doing the lion's share of the work. Steve Axman, who's the quarterback coach, has stepped up as well and helped fill that void.
I was going to tell you a quick story. Steve Axman was my OC as a freshman at UCLA. Got a great chance to learn underneath him the West Coast offense. Exciting to see those principals out here tonight.
Justin Stockton in on 3rd and 8.
Nice job there by John Wolford, identifying the protection and then changing it at the line of scrimmage, giving him an opportunity, sit there and throw the football, and here we go again.
Another shot deep, trying to find Rashad Ross, Steve Williams in coverage.
Again, good job here. Down the field, ball on time, and again, just the defensive back does a great job not panicking and plays through to the ball.
I think this is why this league is so important, because you're teaching guys how to play the deep ball in this league. Now, there's going to be certain teams that want to run it, but when you have a DB that doesn't panic when the ball's in the air, right. I mean, he could play in the NFL.
He really has to, because as we know, to the DBs, is that receiver knows where he's going, and you got the toughest job out there on the field.
Pearsonell wisely letting that one bounce this time, and that's going to be down at about the 13-yard line. Talked about the NFL and the experience that these players have in terms of signing NFL contracts. 81% of the players in the league have signed an NFL contract at some point, as we get a look there at Matt Asiata, who had a lot of success in Minnesota for a couple of years. Heck, had 10 touchdown runs one season.
Listen, touchdown machine. He was on my fantasy team at one point.
Unexpectedly thrust into the starting lineup when Adrian Peterson went down. Brandon Oliver, speaking of running backs who have had success, had a couple of good years with the Chargers. Remember, 582 yards as a rookie, 36 catches that year too.
Played against him. I was in Oakland, he was in San Diego at the time. A phenomenal player.
Well, you can see the stats of both runners. Asiato in Minnesota, 1259, 773 for Oliver. That's tremendous. 9 total years in the NFL and almost 2,000 yards with him. 23 touchdowns.
Brandon Oliver, of course, missed 2016 with a torn Achilles. Both guys hoping this trip to the Alliance can help them get back into the league. Looking for Oliver there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 4.
That's one of the things you said yesterday, MJD, because of the time on task that we'd have some miscommunications between receivers and quarterbacks, and there was an example of it right there.
Well, offensively, you both have to see the defense the exact same way. Do you see cover 2? Do you see cover 3? Do you see man-to-man the same way the quarterback sees it? It's going to take some time to get that. Some of these guys have years upon years to build it. Here, you have a short period of time.
3rd and 4 for the Stallions. Woodrum going to throw, feels pressure, gets it off just in time. Unable to hold on to the ball. That's one that was a tough catch.
Yeah,
maybe should have been caught.
You know, Dries Anderson played for Coach Erickson there at Utah, and so he's got a great experience with him. Had an opportunity in the NFL, and just doesn't come up with the catch there.
Quarterback thrown under pressure as well. You have to help your quarterback out in these type of leagues, though, Coach, because, again, there's so much going on. If you are open, which we call that wide open, you have to catch it because he was 2-3. He created.
Well, they rolled back into a 2-deep man under, in the secondary, and so the quarterback did a nice job identifying where the weakness of the defense was. He delivered a good ball. You got to come up with the catch. Moved away from the pressure from Guacham. Nice job there. But we got to get the play finished.
Rashad Ross waiting to return this punt. Pretty good game for Rashad Ross so far. Has been one of the stars of the game. 2 catches, 77 yards to go along with a 41-yard touchdown. We expected the Hotshots to be impressive offensively. That's Rick Neuheisel's forte. They've also looked pretty good defensively, Coach.
They've done a great job on defense. They really come up with the turnovers and the stops. And as MJD said, the corners supporting the run has been very, very helpful.
No question.
Corners supporting the run, a very active linebacker group as we get a look at Ross right here, ready to return the punt from Austin Rico. Rico averaged almost 48 yards per punt as a freshman at Idaho. That led the nation. This one driving Ross back to the 22-yard line, but he has some room to do some work here. Goes backwards and picked up a couple before he's driven hard out of bounds. That looked like he might have been all the way out of bounds when he took that hit. My goodness.
I tell you what, Ross, you're making so many plays in the passing game. Get out of bounds, Coach.
Oh, Mo, you got to love it now. You got to stay in bounds and get more yardage now. Come on, let's go. But what you got to like about this, there's no flag.
No flag.
There's no flag. We're playing football.
That was Tanner Baldry.
And I think one of the things that happens a lot with the NFL game is on almost every special teams play, you got a flag. And it's a good job of these guys.
Well, credit those special teams coaches as well, being able to implement this
in 5 weeks. Not a lot of time, but they've been able to get the job done as Presley is upended for no gain.
It seems like the Stallions defense is starting to settle in a little bit and figure out this running into this rushing attack by the Hotshots.
Well, Presley getting a lion's share of the work here. 8 carries, 47 yards. That's a gain of 3 as Mulaney hauls it in.
Coach Neuheisel raved about Mulaney, a transfer from Alabama, goes to Oregon State, and he just talks about he's always open. He's just a creative route runner. He finds ways. He's smooth. And when you throw the ball, he's reliable. He can catch it.
He's reliable. I think it was the opposite, though, right? I think he finished. And then he finished at Alabama.
Did he finish at Alabama?
He finished at Alabama.
Okay.
He did. He finished at Alabama from Oregon State, part of that national championship team back in 2015. 3rd and 8 here
Oh, great job.
Wide open Gerald Christian again. The big tight end hauls it in, picks up the first down. Anthony Williams makes the tackle.
There's that spark again.
With pressure in his face as well, is able to get the ball up and down to his tight end.
And see, they're trying to go tempo, but because they substituted, the officials staying on the ball, giving the defense an opportunity to match up.
Running on first down. That goes for about 5. Larry Rose the third dives forward.
It's a chance to see a replay of the last play here. Great job on third down.
Man-to-man, linebackers aren't covering their guys.
You know, quarterback John Wolford talked about that yesterday, is exploiting those matchups on their linebackers.
Quick pass, that's complete. Marquise Bundy, another first down for the Hotshots.
The one thing about football, chippiness will never leave the game, and especially in the Alliance League where everyone's battling to try to create their resume. You're going to see a little bit of that.
Bundy's first catch of the game goes for 11, and this goes nowhere. Larry Rose scattered, smothered, and covered Carter Schultz, the first man there. That's going to be a loss of 3.
That's that man again, MJD.
Yes.
That man, 94 Schultz.
He does a great job of setting the edge and getting through the down block by the tight end and gets vertical.
Carter Silva also, Silva inside, did a great job also.
Yeah, it's a little high for Freddie Martino. Talking about Carter Schultz, went to Northern Iowa. That's the same school, of course, as Hall of Famer Kurt Warner and Cardinals running back David Johnson. His final 2 seasons there, he had 31 sacks combined. Not too shabby. Spent the 2017 preseason with the Browns.
It means he knows how to get to the quarterback. And we know what kind of price the NFL puts on those guys.
Yes. Again, another opportunity to show that maybe you deserve another look because you can do those skills. Being able to cover and rush are so key to having an opportunity in the National Football League.
Brant Weiss, the right tackle out of Toledo, getting tended to on the field by the Alliance medical staff.
We talked so much about, well, we haven't talked yet, but yesterday we talked about the conditioning and cardio of your players. I don't know if you heard, Dan, but as Weiss was kind of trying to tough it out, they were like, hey man, go down, because we need a break here. We need a little breather because we're going this up tempo. We're big guys. We're not in the best shape.
That's not unique to the Alliance. We've heard that before.
Well, the other thing that plays in that is the play clock. With a 35-second play clock, you know, you have the opportunity to sub and get the right guy in, so you don't have to delay a game or have to burn one of your timeouts here. You know, we're going down inside of 3 minutes here in this half.
Take a look at some of the headlines for the week from the Alliance. Garrett Gilbert, 3 total touchdowns. Orlando putting up points. The old ball coach is back.
Ball coach had him rolling yesterday, Dan.
And look at that Birmingham Iron team. 3 takeaways, a pitch, a shutout, just 77 passing yards allowed. You don't see that very often.
No, great job by Tim Lewis getting his first win as a head football coach. Just tremendous. Really happy for him.
And you know what I love seeing about that game? The true joy and excitement on Tim's face. This means something to him.
Yeah, it has. He's been all in.
Gerald Presley in the backfield next to Wolford. Wolford going to throw the other direction. He was looking for his tight end, Connor Hamlet, and that brings up 4th down.
And Coach, you mentioned this earlier. Wolford said that he's going to try to attack these linebackers because he feels like that's where they have their strengths, on the tight ends and running backs going down the field. But he's been going after some corners, too, with some deep routes. So he's kind of starting to get in his mode and starting to feel comfortable in this offense.
Well, after we gave him props for not having issues with the special teams, here we have a timeout called.
Well, I think because Weiss went out, they don't have a guy to go in for him.
Our first look at Nick Folk, an 11-year NFL veteran.
Has had a tremendous career in the NFL.
You know, Coach, as I get older, I appreciate longevity maybe more than anything else. And I don't care who you are or what position you played. You play 11 years in the NFL, long snapper, kicker, starting quarterback. That's an accomplishment.
Well, particularly at that position. You know, he had You know, he really spent a lot of time with the Jets and really was very effective there in New York.
Spent some time with the Cowboys and most recently the Buccaneers as well.
In that kicker tryout there, he won it.
And this is going to be a 53-yard field goal attempt for Folk. Nick Dooley, the long snapper. He's huge, by the way, for a long snapper. 6'7", 270. Lock the holder. The kick is up. Looks
Nick
pure.
Folk's on the board.
There we go. Nick Folk went to Arizona, playing here at Sun Devil Stadium. Puts the Hotshots up 19-8 with 3:20 to go here in the first half. This was a no-doubter.
Well, it's a great opportunity for Nick Folk to stay in it, prove he can still do it, and get an opportunity again back in the National Football League. Every year, there's going to be, in 32 teams, there's going to be 10 new kickers. What do you think?
Well, you know, I want to say there's only been one missed kick this whole weekend. Where in the NFL, Coach, we had double doinkers and wide lefts and wide rights. So it's always going to be important to have those guys
It has been. What these kickers have done has been impressive.
A double what?
Double doinker.
Double doinker, all right. Wanyo in at running back. Stallions feeling the pressure. Coming off the edge, Steven Johnson, we mentioned him early in the game, the best defensive player on this team, gets a sack.
Great job. Steve spent 6 years in the NFL. He was with the Broncos, the Titans, the Steelers, and so I saw him a little bit in our division.
Again, miscommunication. No one slides out to him. You go free release, and as a quarterback, you have to tell the offensive line, count this guy in, because there's three defenders over 2 receivers in that situation.
Penalty marker down.
After a consultation with the sky judge, there was an illegal formation on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Dan, that might explain it.
And there you have it, why he was unblocked on that. The sky judge is somebody who can take a look on first glance at something that should have been called, and if it wasn't, if it was obvious and egregious, the sky judge can make a call or change a call. That is something that's unique to the Alliance, and something, hint, hint, maybe some other football leagues could have done.
I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so.
I
love it.
I know what game you're hitting to, Dan.
Well, I'm just saying.
The right team was in the Super Bowl. I don't care what you say.
All our fans in New Orleans just turned off.
No, they're still watching.
First and 10 for the Stallions, has a man open. Anthony Denham, big gain for the Stallions as Woodrum finds him.
Well, Anthony Denham coming back, redeem himself a little bit.
Well, Coach, the up and down throw. You know, how hard is it for a quarterback to be able to get the ball up and over the linebacker and down before the safety can get there?
Yeah, you see he hit the sweet spot. It's in the zone defense they were playing. And with the linebacker didn't get enough depth underneath, and he was able to hit it over the top of him.
It's a 2-minute warning of the half.
Third catch of the ball game for Denham. That one goes for 30 as Salt Lake trying to get back on the board and tighten things up here in Tempe.
Come on, Carol. Hawaii, nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. Finally earned enough rewards points.
So jealous.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that shave ice.
What's shave ice?
It's like a Hawaiian snow cone.
Why not just say snow cone?
I don't know, they call it shave ice.
You fly to Hawaii for this.
I don't go there for the ice.
You saved up your reward points for ice. That's a lot of ice.
Okay.
Go Rewards Credit Card from Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
All right, back with 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Stay tuned for the Alliance All Access Halftime. Alex Flanagan, Rod Woodson, Sean O'Hara, and Cynthia Freeland will be here at halftime. They're going to take a look at the Memphis-Birmingham highlights, have a recap from Saturday. You don't want to miss the old ball coach unplugged. Marvin, what was it? Was it 2002?
2002, I had the pleasure of coaching with Coach Spurrier in Washington, and really you learn so much from him, his everyday, his temperament, and so forth. And it was really a pleasure to spend that year with Coach.
You, of course, the defensive coordinator there with the Redskins before you moved on. Ball's on the 30-yard line for Woodrum. Woodrum squeezes it in there. Nice catch by Denham. Johnson was there in coverage.
Again, Stevie Johnson on the coverage there, trying to sneak the back out through a little play action with the waggle in the back sneaking through.
Well, great athleticism by Stevie Johnson because he takes a horrible angle, coach, but he's able to adjust and find a way to get the ball carrier down.
There's
injured player on the field.
Denham still down on the field.
This will be a timeout.
This will end up across Salt Lake, their second timeout here.
Well, I think he gets rolled up when he catches the ball. Stevie Johnson's behind him and kind of gets on his ankle a little bit, and then as you see him, they're examining his knee as well.
Very similar situation why we had the horse collar tackle rule installed in the National Football League. You know, he just doesn't do it, but that was the way guys were getting injured when the guy was grabbing them from behind, coming down through the legs.
Denham played parts of 2 seasons with the Texans back in 2014, 2015. Also spent some time with Arizona and Philadelphia this past season. And so far, nobody has more receptions in this game than Denham. 4 catches, 47 yards, including that 30-yard pickup.
You want to know something funny? When a quarterback is not comfortable with everything going around, he's going to lean on the biggest target he has because he knows if he gets the ball to him and he has a big catch radius, he can throw the ball anywhere to him, he'll find a way to get it.
It also talks about the ability of the cornerbacks, you know, for the Arizona Hotshots. What we know is and how they've done a great job against these wide receivers. And also Salt Lake's missing their best receiver in Kalen Clay.
Yeah, Kalen Clay going to be out maybe for another game, has a hand injury. Another Utah alum. A lot of Utes and Aggies and Cougars on this Salt Lake roster.
See the communication by the secondary down here at the bottom.
2nd and 7, 2 wide receivers to the right. That's where Woodrow's going. And unable to hold on is Matt Asiata.
Really in isolation with the back on the linebacker.
You got to win that every time, coach.
Did you ever get any of these?
A couple. We try to get them against you guys, but you guys like to use your defensive ends to chip the back when he comes out of the backfield. You got to talk to the ref about that a little bit.
Here's another look. Little bit behind him. Little bit behind him.
As a running back, you got to make that catch.
And flag. And another automatic first down. You can see Boharness is a little frustrated.
They're getting the crowd into it, though.
Coach Aliotti said he likes red 4 in this situation, which is cover 4. It's kind of a umbrella coverage to keep everything in front of you. Let's see what we get here.
2 receivers to the left for Woodrum. Hands off to Buonio up the middle. And that's a nice 7-yard gain for Buonio.
And obviously with a 4-cross scheme, you're not going to be as stout with the run because you're basically playing the run against 7. So it's 9 on 7 basically.
Yeah. That big offensive line for the Stallions was able to create some surge going forward and giving the running back some lanes.
Woodrum looking to the end zone, tipped out of bounds.
Sterling Moore.
Exactly. You can see why he spent 7 seasons in the NFL, looking for Jordan Leslie.
And Dargan's telling him this, hey, tip the ball to me, okay? Don't just tip the ball in the back. Let me get some love, too. I got you. You stay outside. I'm right here when you turn. Tip it to me. Don't bat it out of bounds.
Dargan's the general back there in the secondary.
You got to really love his position, though, body position by Sterling Moore there.
3rd and 4 from the 7.
That trip set over there to the left. We're going to get some kind of combination that way.
Woodrum gonna run.
Lost the ball.
Lost the ball. Don't know if he was down. Picks up the first down, short of the touchdown.
This ball may have been coming out. Let's take a look at the replay.
As he's coming, he starts to stumble.
Is the knee down?
He's down. He's down.
Looks like the knee was down before Dargan got there.
But again, it's a first down, but they only have 1 timeout left, so we're going to be up and playing here.
Well, I'm going to lean on my offensive line in this situation on the Stallions. We have a big offensive line. We have a Matt Asiata back there. We're going to run downhill, and we're going to get this touchdown.
They're going to be forced to take their last timeout right here.
2 seconds, 3 seconds. Thrown it into the end zone and caught. What a tremendous individual effort by Jordan Leslie. Goes up and over the DB. I believe it was Dargan who was there. Leslie just goes right over the top.
Great throw. Great ball location there.
Dargan gets there a little late and ends up in a trailing position and doesn't turn his head to find a way to find the ball.
Just turned around too late.
Well, they isolated with the spreading the tight end out on the other side, left Dargan backside versus the wide out there.
Jordan Leslie out of BYU. Stood out to the quarterback, Josh Woodrum, almost immediately, he told us when we talked to him yesterday.
Second charge timeout of the half.
Spent some time on the practice squads with the
30 seconds in it.
Jags, Falcons, and Titans as a timeout has been called.
Well, Coach Neuheis was a little upset because the clock went down to 0 on the play before when Woodrum ran, and that should have been delay of game, but they don't call it, get the first down, obviously, then they get back, hurry up on the ball, and they throw the fade. So, you know, sometimes coaches go all the way back 2 or 3 plays to argue a point, huh?
Well, you want to make your point so that if they missed it, maybe you get the benefit of the doubt the next time, you know? You put them on notice.
That's right.
You put them on notice.
See, there you go.
You're telling them.
He like, you got to help me out.
You got to, yeah, you know, we got to look now. We got 2 teams out here now.
13 seconds to go here in the first half. Brandon Oliver going to be the running back there with Woodrum. And they can make this a 3-point ball game. Pitch to Oliver. Oliver in for the conversion. 19-16. It looked like he was a bullet train going into the end zone there.
Yeah, that was a real physical play there. But when you get on that 2-point conversion, you have to put your foot in the ground and
go.
As Sean O'Hara once said, BYOB, be your own blocker.
Yeah. He does. He does a great job of sticking his foot in the ground and going vertically up the field. He gets out of that horizontal mode and goes vertically.
Mm-hmm. And in a hurry, too, Coach.
We got a ball game.
That we do. Tight one with 13 seconds to go, and I feel like they've been keeping it pretty simple for the most part on these 2-point conversions. And why not?
Well, I spent some time with Phil Savage yesterday, and he talked about that how both teams, he thought both these teams would be pretty evenly matched, and we are right now.
That we are. 19-6. Following the break, we're going to take you to our NFL Network studio for the Alliance All Access Halftime Report with Alex Flanagan, Rod Woodson, Sean O'Hara, and Cynthia Freeland. The Alliance in the desert. Things starting to heat up.
They can't stop us. They can judge or dismiss us, but we'll come back. Because you can't stop pride or power. You can't stop speed or spirit. You can't stop genius or passion. Or you can't stop coming together, anticipating, celebrating. You can't stop the players. You can't stop the places. You can't stop Sunday or Saturday. You can't stop football. Us.
Yes.
It's the Alliance All Access Halftime Report, and we have a game on the NFL Network, the Arizona Hotshots and the Salt Lake Stallions. And man, Rashad Ross has bounced around the NFL for the last 6 years. Undrafted in 2013 and trying to make a team since then, you guys. And he's playing tonight in his collegiate stadium. He played for the Sun Devils back in the day. And what a night it has been for him. Welcome into our studio here. I'm Alex Flanagan, joined by Cynthia Freeland, Rod Woodson, and Sean O'Hara. And Cynthia, as we look at this game, some things are different and some things are the same as an NFL game.
Well, we've seen a lot of great football this whole weekend, but this game's probably the most NFL-like in that turnovers and big plays are really dictating who's winning this game. Close game, only 3 points separate the two, but the 2 turnovers for the Stallions are a big difference maker compared to the 4 big plays on offense for the Hotshot, including 2 over 36-yard receptions for Rashad Ross.
Those big chunks matter. Sean, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of big plays from the Hotshots, and it's coming from the quarterback, John Wolford. We were all a little surprised to see him starting over Trevor Knight, but take a look at some of these throws. Down in the red zone right here, a busted coverage right here by the Stallions leads to an easy throw to his tight end, Gerald Christian. And then here's the play action right here, all right? Out of shotgun, a deep ball right down the middle. There's your big play, Cynthia, to Ross, who's going to do a little Michael Jackson. Yep. Okay, just 2 of those.
He's been waiting to do that dance for a while.
He did 3, actually. He snuck in that third one for you.
I like the offense. It's got a lot of rhythm. Jarrell Presley has done a really good job in the run game, giving them a lot of balance, and I think Wolford's really benefited.
It's kind of the most consistent or comfortable team, I think, that we've seen so far this weekend.
It is. You have to give a lot of credit to Phil Savage. Phil Savage is an old college guy, did the Senior Bowl forever, and he knows these guys. So shouldn't be surprising that he's taken some of these top-notch players. And you look at the defense, it's laden with players who have a lot of NFL experience. So they're playing good. I know they gave up 16 points. A lot of them for illegal formations. They've been a little bit too aggressive at times, but they are playing really good football right now.
And Phil certainly does know how to find the diamond in the rough players. Earlier in the day, the third game of the Alliance season had a shutout, you guys. This was quite something.
It's the Iron Curtain for Birmingham.
So Trent Richardson, of course, well known to Alabama fans, and man, he just lit it up. He did get a penalty, though, for doing that.
Yeah, the ball went into the stands.
Okay.
Technically went into the stands.
Yeah, and look, he's catching his 2-point conversion here, which is the best part because there are no extra points allowed in this league. So that 2-point conversion becomes the difference maker in scoring.
Is he one of these guys that we talk about that might get a second chance?
Yeah, look at those yards after look at those yards after contact. That's a huge deal in the NFL.
And as we said, Birmingham shutting out the Memphis Express.
Tim Lewis.
Water bath. You got a water bath.
I called it a Gatorade bath, but you called it a water bath.
He's been waiting for this moment for so long as a National Football League coach and having his first opportunity to be a head coach in his career. It's great. It's great to see.
We saw some good defense by Birmingham Iron. I thought we were going to get that from the Express with Mike Singletary and their head coach, so a lot to improve on for them.
Yeah, Rod, you also commented on the defense and really liked what they were
you got to think about it. It's the only shutout of the weekend. And, Rick Mentor, who's defense coordinator, they did a tremendous job. And, a guy named Jamal Summers, he had an interception.
Yeah.
He had a couple PBUs. They were all over the place. But this defense is just playing
watching film on you, Rod.
They've been playing iron football. I love iron.
Iron sharpens iron. You like the uniforms? Reminds you of the silver and black.
We had another throwback, and we're gonna show you that after the break. Steve Spurrier doing what he does so well on the sidelines. You guys are gonna love hearing him mic'd up.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.
We're family. We'd do anything for each other. But this time, those bonds were definitely tested.
Frog leg for my baby brother.
Don't frogs have, 2 legs? So they should have 2 of these. Since I'm active duty and she's family, I was able to set my sister up with a sweet membership from Navy Federal. If you hold it closer, it looks bigger.
Eat your food.
My big sis likes to make tiny food, and I'm okay with that.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
The Alliance is bringing you all access all the time, and so far this weekend we've been able to give you some great access. Coaches mic'd up, referees explaining plays and penalties, and Mike Martz back in the game there, trying to do what he does, but his quarterback, man.
Look out!
We talked about defense, some hard hits. That's Sean Washington, the linebacker, sacking Mike Bercovici. Really setting the tone for the San Antonio team.
Yeah, good for him. He bounced up and completed a pass on the next play.
Then we had the only touchdown of the night by Logan Woodside.
That was a great play.
To Alonzo Moore. Big reception there.
Oh, good pitch.
Sorry, this was actually the only touchdown. That set up the touchdown. Kenneth Farrow actually finishing the deal there. And San Antonio wins it 15-6 in that game. And then Steve Spurrier back on the sidelines. We had him mic'd up, and boy, was it entertaining. First time he's been back on the sidelines since 2015. And his quarterback, Garrett Gilbert, really had a great game.
That is a great throw.
Great throw, great catch. They reviewed it, overturned it because originally ruled it incomplete on the field.
Wait,
good
watch
job.
this one.
So Jalen Marshall caught that touchdown. Now he throws this touchdown to
Orlando
his quarterback.
special.
A quarterback that's an athlete.
Can we call it a copycat league already?
And this game, man, Orlando did a doozy on the Atlanta Legends, 40-6 in the end. Steve Spurrier, as we mentioned, was mic'd up.
Hey, Ralph! Put the ball in the middle! In the middle! Jalen! Wide! 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 Wider! 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 Z.
Money right over.
Z, Quincy, Roger, lead. Tell him to catch it this time.
Are you doing the first? All right, so you guys, in an inaugural league, we are going to have some milestones, and we had them this weekend. So we've had first touchdowns, first pick sixes, first sacks. Of this list, what'd you like?
I think it's kind of ironic that the first point scored was the 38-yard field goal by Younghoe Koo, because we've seen bad kicking in the NFL all year long, and now we see great kicking here. It's so fun.
And redemption for that young man as well.
Redemption! I love that story.
I like the pick six. I'm a DB.
You do?
Yeah, anytime you can score on defense, the opportunity to win a game increases.
I'll take the touchdown throw. I thought it was a great throw by Garrett Gilbert. He looks like the NFL quarterback that he hopes to become. That throw, that catch, and then I'll add Jalen Marshall. I mean, the first player to catch and throw for a touchdown in this league, that's pretty special as well.
And how much did you love Steve Spurrier?
He looks great.
Can we mic him up all day long?
Every game.
If we had Spurrier TV, I would watch that.
But I did love that, and that you get to kind of get this insight. We heard Mike Martz talking about maybe making a quarterback switch, which he eventually did, but maybe a little bit too late. And I think we've never had that access before to hear really what the coaches are thinking.
Yeah, when we heard it, and then we were all like, okay, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? And then several series later, it was when he actually finally made the difference. So we were like all crossing our fingers and sweating it out with them.
I love having that audio. As a former player, I know people probably ask you this too, what do you miss the most? You know what I miss? I miss the huddle. So the fact that we're able to go in there and take the fans inside the huddle, you can hear the play call, that's special. Nobody else is doing that.
For us that have never been able to be in a huddle too, it is very cool to hear that verbiage and understand what's going on.
Well, you like that, but also that instant replay where you can hear the person talking his way through.
Very transparent.
The coaches,
it's very transparent to all the viewers where they're not saying, what?
Right.
That call did not happen, so that was great to see that something like that for the fans can understand.
An exciting, I think, first start weekend for the Alliance, and much more to come next week. Salt Lake is going to be taking on Birmingham. You can catch that game on TNT. One of the things that you guys have to look out for, our fans, is check a website or check out where we are. We're on a lot of the different networks, which we're super excited about because we get to spread ourselves around. All right, coming up next, the second half from Tempe. We've got the Arizona Hotshots and the Salt Lake Stallions. The second half of that game coming your way after this break.
Monday on NFL Total Access, we will talk about Kyler Murray. We will hear from Kyler Murray, a scouting report, a quarterback's review, and the man himself. Monday, 7 Eastern.
Oh my goodness, this one had a little bit of everything.
It's a great day. We got football, baby.
I got you on this one.
It's a pleasure, man. I like that.
He makes big plays.
What this guy brings is hope.
What does he need to do to win it?
That's priceless. You can't get that from a lot of people. Ready? I'm ready to go. He was the can't miss football player.
I'm coming hard.
The guy has been able to do it all.
Can we talk football?
The NFL draft is officially open.
Which team gets it right tonight?
Bang! What a catch!
It is all on the line.
The Patriots have won their 6th Super Bowl title.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the Alliance of American Football on NFL Network, and we have a pretty good game to wrap up the season opening weekend of the Alliance. Dan Hellie, Marvin Lewis, Maurice Jones-Drew, and MJD. Surprise, surprise, you like what you have seen from the running back from the Hotshots.
Oh, yes. Presley's been doing a great job of just letting his blocks unfold and using his explosiveness and elusiveness to find ways to get yards.
He has done a great job, and we got a great shot of it. They're blocking, the execution, and I always used to say when you get 2 yellow shirts and another yellow shirt up in between, that's not good for the other guys.
Well, again, I mean, he shows the patience there and puts his foot in the ground, Coach, and is able to get north and get yards.
8 carries, 47 yards for Jarrell Presley, and the quarterback, John Walford, also performing at a high level.
Yeah, just the execution of their offense. Coach Newheisel attacking the coverage, eating up number 2, and then hitting the big post over the top twice for huge plays in the first half.
Walford, 8 of 14, 124 yards, 2 touchdown passes in the first half. That one to Ross, a complete look at the numbers here. Maybe the one area the Hotshots could clean up a little bit are the penalties, 5 for 16.
Yeah, the penalties really been the difference in the football game for them, particularly with the defense.
But no turnovers, and that's key. We've seen a lot of turnovers throughout this weekend.
Yeah, great job of John Wolford taking care of the football, protecting the ball in the running game. We know how important that is.
We have not seen backup quarterback Trevor Knight yet. We were told that he could be coming in. We will not be seeing Josh Woodrum for Salt Lake. He is out with a hamstring injury. That means Matt Linehan out of Idaho. If that name sounds familiar, it's because it is, Coach.
Scott Linehan's son, the former offensive coordinator of the Cowboys, head coach of the Rams, also was at the Lions as an offensive coordinator for a long time, and the head coach of the St. Louis Rams.
So we're going to have to wait to see Linehan as the Hotshots offense back on the field. Presley trying to get things started here, but Anthony Williams says,
You can't dance in the backfield. And that's one of the things as a running back that I tried to take out of my game was stopping and starting and doing all things. You want to get going first, especially coming out of the half. If you're trying to hit the home run right away, it is going to be tough, especially the way these linebackers for the Stallions are flying around.
Yeah, the great penetration in the backfield, as we talked about earlier, prevents the run from getting going at all. Maurice, you saw the defense shift there when the running back flexed over, reset. Defense adjusted.
Wolford throwing, has a man, catches it on his shoulder. Gerald Christian kind of just trapped that on that shoulder pad. Got the feet down before he went out of bounds. Nice catch. Here's another look.
It is a nice time. Again, the tight end on the sail route or corner route. You see again, beating the linebacker one-on-one, exploiting the coverage. We saw this earlier in the second quarter.
Because there's our guy, Donnie Henderson, on the sideline. A little upset
my
about
guy.
that.
It's my guy.
Here's Presley again, just fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage.
So elusive. Being able to make guys miss in short areas or tight areas is a trait that running backs have to have, because you have to be creative when you get to the NFL.
Yeah, you have to be able to make a guy miss, an unblocked guy, because it's going to happen occasionally. See a little miscommunication there, guys.
Yeah, I just sailed right out of bounds. And you can see Wolford saying, where are you going?
Well, he says, I see it where you're supposed to keep that corner high and take it to the pylon, but the receiver saw it as he's supposed to break it flat.
Yeah,
and
he broke
again,
flat, and they were trying to run the cell concept again with number 2, and the number 1 guy broke out.
Now you can hear the whistles. There's a look at Wolford. And Rick Newheisel asking what's going on. Just
hydration.
Yeah, a little injury.
Well, it's
timeout.
really going to come into effect, I think, in this football game. The tempo that the Hotshots offense has been using really puts a premium on conditioning on the Stallions defense.
Silver Sealinga, 13 starts For the Patriots, over 3 seasons, spent 7 years in the NFL, has a Super Bowl ring.
344 hydration is always going to be key for that young man.
Coming to the desert, you know.
Takes a minute. 3rd and 9. Wolford gonna tuck it and run. Hey, he's no stranger to running the ball. Over 1,000 career rushing yards and 19 rushing touchdowns in Wake.
Here they go back to the ball now. They're going to go up tempo here.
Quarterback runs always hurt defenses, Coach.
Well, you got 2 deep man under there. So everybody's got their back turned, and he's able to take off and run with it.
This time, Wolford content to let Presley do the hard work, and you can't arm tackle that dude. Even if you are Mike Purcell and you weigh 328.
Well, you hear on the sidelines, quit stopping, quit stopping. This young man is tough to tackle, so you have to make sure that you get him down or you have your arms around him.
Yeah, he's going to make you bring him to the ground.
10 carries, 50 yards so far in the game for Presley. Fake the handoff to Presley and then zips it in there.
There's your RPO, MJ.
Well, Coach, you know, I always hear the word diva when it comes to wide receivers. I don't know any diva that's going to catch that type of ball in traffic. I tell you that much. And Ross has shown that, yes, he can dance after touchdowns and make the big plays, but also he's willing to go in there and do the dirty work as well.
Ross spent last preseason with Arizona. 1st and 10 throw, nearly complete. And Davis was there. Davis been pretty active today as well.
Yeah, Davis has great cover skills. Did a nice job coming back and his feet transitioning back on the receiver, and you know, really getting a hand back there, make it be a perfect thrown football.
Davis out of Washington State, a former 3rd-round draft pick. Justin Stockton motioning to the right side of Wolford, gets the ball and picks up 5.
Davis was drafted in the 3rd round by the Dolphins, and so again, a lot of guys out here that were picked high in the draft, and an opportunity now to show that they deserve an opportunity to get back in the National Football League.
And sometimes it's not about the situation. You just may not be mature enough to handle those things, and you need to come back, get it some time off, get cut, remature, and then get back out there so you can play.
That street is cold.
Yeah, it is cold.
The street is cold.
3rd and 7, Stockton in the game next to Wolford. Wolford thinking about it, gets rid of it. Good throw, but also good coverage. C.J. Smith was all over him.
Yeah. Nice job here with quarterback. I mean, both sides. A good job by the quarterback, eluding the pressure, coming back, and then giving his receiver an opportunity to try to come up with the play.
I would like the receiver to go with the ball with his thumbs touching each other, not the pinkies together. But again, you know, those are little things that you'll work on. Huff's a guy who's been in this league and has played with the Eagles, and you know, talking with Coach Newsline, he's one of those other playmakers that they're looking to have a big day.
Here we see one of the things with the kicking situation here. We also have a K-ball being employed in this game as well in the Alliance League. So they had the wrong football in there, and the long snapper identified it, and we got the right ball in there now.
Going to be a 46-yard field goal attempt for the 11-year NFL veteran Nick Folk. He was good on his first, and that one going to bounce off the upright.
That's on me.
That's your doink.
There goes the doink.
No, was that a doink or just a doink?
We jinxed it.
All right, well, we still have a 3-point ball game. Hotshots on top, couldn't add to the lead. We're back in Tempe after this. Welcome back to Sun Devils Stadium. That is a good look at Matt Linehan, now in at quarterback for Josh Woodrum. Matt Linehan, coached by his dad, Scott, at Idaho, a native of Orchard Park, Minnesota. Got a cup of coffee with the Bengals and the Vikings in minicamp. This is a kid that's not afraid to throw the ball around the yard. Threw for 476 yards back in 2016 in a bowl game.
Yeah, Matt has good height, stature. We had him in rookie camp last year, and he did a nice job. You know, he's a smart player, as you would expect, being a coach's son.
Everybody's screaming when the ball went on the ground. Raheem Yates on the tackle after the 3-yard gain. He was down. So here's what happened to Woodrum. This was just before halftime, and you could see he grabbed that left hammy as he was going down. And we're not going to see him, not likely to see him the rest of the game, as his pad's already off.
Quarterbacks are used to running and having that quick twitch.
Handoff. And Juanio met right away.
There's our man.
Will Sutton was in there again. There's a look at the numbers for Woodrum in his first game in the Alliance.
Will Sutton and Eric Dargan there at the line of scrimmage. I think the interesting thing, again, different than we have in the National Football League right now, we do have a third quarterback dressed tonight. So
right.
when we can bring the third quarterback in the game if something would happen to Linehan.
And that third quarterback would be Austin Allen out of Arkansas. 3rd and 6 here for Linehan. Has a man complete to his tight end, Denham. First down, Stallions.
Linehan here feeling the pressure, but doing a great job of stepping up in the pocket, getting the linebacker to commit and getting the ball to his tight end.
Saw number 19, Jordan Leslie, hopping off the field with an injury there.
You know, one of the things that when you're not fully prepared and your body's not adjusted to everything, when you kind of running around a lot and you're using the muscles that you're normally not used to using, you do get strains.
Here's Juanio. Tries to cut it back, then slips, picks up half a yard. Raheem Yates so active from that defensive end position. One of just 3 hotshots with no NFL experience, but you can't tell by the way he's played tonight.
Yeah, but Coach Aliotti and both Coach Neuheisel both pointed him out as a guy that's been impressive for them since they've been here.
Played for a couple of years in Japan. Still speaks a little Japanese, and he's one of the few vegetarians you're going to find that play professional football.
And defensive lineman.
2nd and 9, Linehan back to throw. Again complete, and again it's to a tight end, this time Nick Truesdale.
The play action fake, something that a lot of these guys haven't seen before. Here, the quarterback, Linehan, does a phenomenal job of sticking the ball out, selling it, coming back around, getting around the edge, and getting to a second target, second tight end, who's a little too deep for me. You got to be a little more shallow.
They're supposed to be in those same area, but a nice tight throw by Linehan.
You can see 3rd down conversions. Salt Lake converting at a pretty good rate. 3rd and 2 here. Linehan throwing again behind the intended receiver. 4th down. And they're looking at 4th and 2.
Covered again there by Sterling Moore. Nice job.
Well, I felt like Linehan missed the read. The slot to the left was running a slant with the safety covering him 8 yards off. Yeah. You got free access there, Coach. You have to take that.
Yeah, you want to take that matchup just like they did for the touchdown earlier right before half.
Rico on to punt for the Stallions.
Linehan's first drive of the game, just trying to get his feet under him here as Austin Rico on to punt for the Stallions.
Looks like we got a little field position jockeying around here a little bit, taking the delay, trying to move back to get 5 extra yards, I guess, to punt the football.
Well, we've seen what Rashad Ross can do. Back to return this punt.
Do you want to give him an opportunity? I'd just say kick it, just put it on kick it out of bounds.
Well, the thing about it, though, is it's 4th and 2. They decide, hey, we're going to go for it, you know, and then if they make it,
right,
you know, instead of 4th and 7.
Rico out of Idaho. Punting with the nose of the football down and perfectly content to let that bounce is Rashad Ross. 19-16, Arizona still on top of Salt Lake. 7.5 to go here in Tempe. Pretty good way to get around is Wheels Up. Our Sky Camp tonight is brought to you by Wheels Up. That's how Coach gets around here in the Phoenix area, I'm sure.
Coach.
That's how he gets out to the golf course now.
Oh, hey.
Here's a look at the leaders for the Hotshots. Just 50% completion percentage for Wolford, but I think he's looked pretty good. Presley's been solid, and obviously big plays there from Ross.
Well, Wolford's gone down the field too, Dan. I mean, he's taking shots down the field. These aren't dinks and dunks and checkdowns. He's trying to get the ball and get chunks of yards when he's throwing.
I think that's been the difference because, at one point he was like 5 or 7.
Exactly.
Jarrell Presley checking back into the game on first down. Put it in the belly of Presley, then pulled it out. Lucky he wasn't sacked. Carter Schultz in the backfield once again.
Great job him showing his athleticism and getting it to second down. Don't give up a negative play. Get out of the pocket, throw it away.
Well, you remember talking to Coach Neuheisel, guys. He said that they all were investment bankers at one point. So they're all smarter than everybody. Yeah. So we expect to see some of that knowledge utilized here on the field.
You're talking about all the quarterbacks. That would be Wolford and Trevor Knight and Jack Hennigan, who went to Dartmouth before they got the call to play in the AAF. They were all indeed working for investment banks. So that has to be a very interesting quarterback room. When one of those guys challenges the quarterback coach, Steve Axman better have the right answer.
Let me tell you something. Nobody's challenging Coach Steve Axman. He has a little pizzazz with him.
Not happening.
A little spice in his room.
Well, remember, that was one of the big things about your guy Josh Rosen coming out of UCLA was that he always wanted to know the why.
Josh Rosen's a good prospect.
Thank you, Coach. I was going to say it, but you know what?
I gave it to you.
I appreciate it.
Throwing on 3rd and 7, tremendous catch. And what do you know, Rashad Ross coming up big again.
I don't know what to tell you guys, but you know what? If I'm Coach Erickson or Coach Donnie Henderson, this guy's not going to do this to me anymore. Let's start double teaming him and finding a way to make it happen. But great route and great adjustment to the ball.
I think, again, it looked like a 2-deep man under situation again, and John Wolford's going to the weakness.
Presley picks up 2. Might have had a DB fall down on that play, too.
You hear the chants, Coach?
Hot shots.
Uh-oh.
Shots.
Well,
I like that.
Ross, of course, a fan favorite here because he played at Arizona State. Hard to tell if that shots are Ross. Maybe they're just cheering for Ross.
Yeah.
Wolford on 2nd and 8. That one's complete to Mulaney. Mulaney picks up 7.
Again, wide open, making the contested catch. Now, when I say wide open, I want our viewers to understand if you create separation of 2 yards in this league, we call that wide open because most of the time the DBs are going to be right there with the receiver.
Oh, fair point. 3rd catch of the game for Mulaney, 3rd and 1. Presley with a nice move in the backfield to pick up the first down.
I don't know if I want my quarterback coach blocking for my tailback.
When you take a look at that, now here we got a RPO here. You see him pull the ball when the end closes, okay, and then he gives back to the running back.
That's more of just a screen. It's back to him. Another one complete. This time it's Bundy. Bundy goes for 6.
Literally, they're going so fast, we don't have a chance to comment on the play in between.
Well, that's high-speed game, fellas.
Well, that's one of the things with Coach Neuheisel. He's going to dink and dunk, but it's going to be so much tempo that he's going to take a shot and catch you off guard.
And they've done a great job of mixing the runs in here.
Larry Rose breaks a tackle, picks up the first down after the 5-yard gain.
You see the conditioning level of the Stallions defense here with substitution coming out now.
There's so many big guys on that line of scrimmage. Really good seal block here by your offensive linemen and tight ends, creating just enough space to get a first down.
It's a great job sealing inside, kick out, and there goes the runner up in between.
Rose again makes one man miss. Picks up about 1. It's Trevor Riley making the tackle there, linebacker out of Utah. Talk about the tempo. 2nd and 10, right back to the line of scrimmage. Wolford has a man wide open. Mulaney inside the 20 down to the 14-yard line.
MJD, you saw that a lot from your Rams, right?
Yeah, tempo. If I can get up on the ball and get you to guess where we're going, we're calling the play at the line of scrimmage. Linebacker doesn't sink deep enough. You have your third receiver come open and, hey, flood the zones.
31-yard gain for Mulaney. And this is an impressive run by Larry Rose II, the running back out of New Mexico State. Very strong on this drive.
Well, as a running back, anytime you get inside the 10-yard line, you start running harder because you understand you're getting closer and closer.
You smell it. Oh, that's trouble. Carter Schultz down.
We don't want to see Carter Schultz out of this game. But again, Mulaney's done a great job. A good instinctive player playing inside in that slot receiver position. And a lot of these runs, they hand off, you can see him looking back at the quarterback in order, was he going to get the ball or not based on the RPO.
Already 11 plays and over 4 minutes of clock chewed up on this drive.
Well, this here looks like it's cramps. You have the stretching here by the trainer.
Yeah, that's good. Good sign there.
But that's tempo. That's what tempo does to you. If you ever practice a 2-minute drill, and you know, Coach, I know you guys like to do, we're at the 80, we're at the opposite 20, we got to get down there and get a touchdown. You're going to cramp up a little bit if it's like that consistently.
Well, I really think, too, as the league goes, you have Salt Lake, which will be playing in elevation. You got coming out here to the desert where it's dry. So that's the other thing.
That's a great point. I mean, if you're playing in Salt Lake one week and then you're out here the next week, that's a huge contrast.
You know. Okay.
Here's a look at that Mulaney catch, who has come up big on this drive. Now his catches, 4 catches for 49 yards. This one goes for 31, Coach.
So, Maurice, you see they're playing a 3-deep zone, Dan, and the linebacker, the weak side backer, doesn't get any depth. They eat up number 1 on the outside sail move, and then now he's inside working basically one-on-one versus a linebacker. 2
wide receivers to the left for Wolford. Looking into the corner of the end zone. That's caught, flag thrown. Didn't matter to Rashad Ross.
Well, I don't know. This may be on the offense. They may call push-off here, but if not, if they don't, I tell you what, Ross is a guy that is making a name for himself right now.
Again, great execution. You see the little rub inside, back outside. Great job here. Watch. You see that, Dan. See number 88, one-on-one. Boom.
Well, they had a safety. Hanneman's a free safety on Ross. Probably not the matchup the Stallions were looking for.
Well, no. If before the play, Ross looked at Wolford and was like, hey, you see what we got going on over here now. Throw this ball up and let me make a play on it.
Ross now 5 catches, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. Making some serious noise in the opener for the Hotshots. Wolford rolling to the right. Easy 2-point conversion to Thomas Duarte. Where's he from?
He went to UCLA.
Uh-huh.
You know,
27-16, Arizona looking good. 12-play, 85-yard drive, chewing up some clock, too. The touchdown to Ross, the 2-point conversion to Duarte. This offense is rolling.
We'd do anything for each other, but this time, those bonds were definitely tested.
Frog leg for my baby brother.
Don't frogs have, like, 2 legs? Said I should have 2 of these. Since I'm active duty and she's family, I was able to set my sister up with a sweet membership from Navy Federal. If you hold it closer, it looks bigger.
Eat your food.
My big sis likes to make tiny food, and I'm okay with that.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
How about Rashad Ross? A couple of touchdowns so far today. 3 touchdown passes for his quarterback, John Wolford.
That's what I want to say, Dan.
We expected to see some offense from this Arizona team, and indeed we have. Pretty good numbers for Ross. No stranger to the National Football League. Played 22 games from 2014 to 2016. 2 with Chicago and 20 with the Redskins. And now it's Linehan again. Pass tipped and pass picked. Steven Johnson, just the second series of the game for Linehan, and he turns it over.
Yeah, really nice job there by number 51, Edmund Robinson again, who's made some plays this evening. Gets up, is able to tip the football right there at the line, off the line of scrimmage, covering the tight end. You know, he's able to slough back, and then Stevie Johnson comes up with the play. Tips and overthrows. We say that all the time.
Got to get
defense.
those. Well, Coach, you know what? Great design here by the Stallions. You have a guy wide open. You just, when you're on the roll, you got to put a little bit more touch on the ball to get it over the defender so that your receiver has a chance. But Stevie Johnson, Johnny on the spot, catching the ball. I just like to see a little bit more creativity when you have the ball in your hands.
You want to see him run for a touchdown.
Man, he's a linebacker.
He probably played running back and used football the way he adjusted to make the ball.
How about the fact this defense has 3 takeaways so far? And the offense trying to make the Stallions pay, and so far they do. My goodness, Jarrell Presley doing it on the ground and through the air.
So many weapons on this Hotshots team offensively. Sometimes it may be Ross, sometimes it may be Presley, it could be Huff. There's so many guys you have to look out for. Your tight ends are making plays as well. Wolford is just killing right now. Here we go. We have 26 running out and up. Coach, we love those type of things.
Love those.
A nice wheel with the linebacker trailing. I mean, I'll take that all day.
And it's a sudden change shot again. Isolating the linebacker, sudden change, and we get a shot down the field.
Yeah, what you love, they go for 2 here. That's Presley's first catch of the game. Not too shabby, 30-yard touchdown. Justin Stockton checking into the game. Quick pass, and another 2-point conversion is good. It's Mulaney in for 2.
That play is notoriously known from the New Orleans Saints. They love to run that play to their big-time receiver, Michael Thomas, motion them inside, throw a quick pass, have a receiver screen right there set up.
Here's a good look at it. Also, the Packers did a great job of this all the time. Pittsburgh's used it a bunch in the National Football League, so a lot of people being very effective with this play. And you got to hand it to Coach Neuheisel and his offensive, their expansiveness of what they've done out here tonight has been incredible.
Just 5 weeks to put things together. This offense looking pretty good, and so is the defense. They forced 3 turnovers, 16 points off of those 3 turnovers now for the Hotshots.
Well, when you talked throughout, we were talking to Phil Savage, the GM. He was saying that the Stallions are one of the tougher teams in the league, as well as he felt as they were, and then the Orlando team as well. So you have a lot going on to show your dominance this early against a Stallions team that you feel is pretty good. Shows how far you can go.
Now we're just putting pressure on Linehan in there as the quarterback. You know, with Matt in there now at quarterback, really put some pressure on him.
Linehan once again, the backup quarterback, filling in for Josh Woodrum, who left the game with a hamstring injury. Tough running by Brandon Oliver, puts his head down, picks up the first down.
I've seen that run before.
I've seen you do that run before.
I've seen him do that run before in San Diego. Great job of just understanding, listen, if there's nothing to the right, cut back to the left. I promise you there's something going to be there. Finds a way. And then, you know, it's my guy from the University of California, Los Angeles, misses a tackle. But it's okay because he had the defenders there to help save him.
He does a nice job, though, of riding the wave all the way back.
Linehan quickly out to Anderson. And Anderson picks up a first down, so the Stallions offense moving.
Get your quarterback comfortable by throwing a little quick game. Hitches all around, figure out which guy is off, catch it one step, let it rip.
Well, Coach Erickson and Coach Lupano are doing a good job of letting Matt play within himself. You know, they're not panicking here and just throwing the ball around the lot. They're going to drive the football. They figure there's a lot of time left. Let's get back in this football game.
45 seconds to go here in the third. Linehan working on
great job
first
using the
down.
cadence.
Obviously a flag on the play after Marcus Hardinson looked like he was the man who jumped.
Coach, what do you think it's like to you're trying to develop guys, but you're also trying to win? How do you kind of balance that?
Well, I think the development comes with the repetition of being out here. You know, and when they're coming to these games, these coaches are competitive, man. And as we know, these players are competitive, and it's all about they want to win the championship. So the development's coming. My opportunity to get out here and prove that I can play, and I want to be out here full time. You know, Marcus Hardison, who didn't start the game, you know, it's a critical error there. Don't be offsides. He was taught that in Cincinnati.
Oh, coach.
But of course he was. Linehan on 1st and 5. Complete, very close to the first down.
Complete to Baldery.
And that's Baldery.
Pushed out by Kalen Burnett, who I played with in Oakland. And I'll tell you a story on the back end about what he did to me in practice, Coach. It wasn't the best.
I can't wait to hear that. In the TV business, that's what we call a very good tease, MJD.
I'm learning, Dan.
The Run Rich Run movement is back. Rich Eisen is running the 40 to benefit St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, and so can you. Upload your 40 with hashtags Run Rich Run and St. Jude to give all kids a chance to play 60 minutes a day. For more information, go to NFL.com/runrichrun. Run the 40. Make a donation and a difference in the lives of St. Jude's kids. And tune in to the Scouting Combine on NFL Network.
Welcome to the 100th season of the National Football League.
What's up, Juju?
Tonight is not about the league. Tonight is about football. It's about the players. It's about the fans.
Damn, beef. Boy, this is a great party.
He's open.
Russ?
Yes.
You're watching the Alliance of American Football on the NFL Network. Dan Helly alongside Marvin Lewis, Maurice Jones-Drew. You had a story about Kalen Burnett you're going to share?
Yeah, we were in Oakland together, and I guess I had the tempo wrong in the drill because Kalen was going full speed and I was going half speed. Hit me so hard, almost made me retire that day, Dan.
Pretty close to retiring, huh?
I was close, but I fought through it.
Mo, you know the defense never has the tempo wrong.
No, I don't know. I mean, I looked at Coach Dennis Allen. I said, Coach, is it me or is it him? Who's going to get yelled at in this situation?
You see a guy 6'4", 240 pounds. I mean, what a good looking.
Fourth quarter now underway. Matt Linehan working out of the shotgun. Pressure, dumps it off to Oliver. Oliver inside the 40 down to almost the 35-yard line. Obum Gwacham there to make the tackle after a 6-yard gain.
What I really like from the defensive line here, the Hotshots, is they were able to retrace and get back to the screen.
Illegal formation against the defense. 15 yards will be tacked on to the end of the catch. Automatic first down.
Not the first time we've seen that from Arizona. So a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
We're seeing a little bit of this replacement stuff, you know, with adding the rusher.
Yes.
And whether the players making an error, we're getting confused or whatever, but it's really affected the Hotshots defense tonight.
But yet they've still been able to be explosive as a defense.
Because of the turnovers. They've done a nice job turning the football over. They've done a nice job in the secondary playing on the football, and that's what's key.
Let's see if the coach's kid, Matt Linehan, can take advantage now.
Matt's doing a good job. Down on the play clock. Knows you got to get it going here.
Play clock down to 1. I don't know if they got it off. I guess they just did. He faked the pitch, then Linehan squeezes it in among 3 defenders, but the intended receiver, Dress Anderson, not able to hold on.
Really impressed by the way that the back end of the Hotshots are playing really well. Raheem Moore, Eric Dargan flying around. Obviously, Sterling Moore doing a great job, and Dexter McDougal and Robert Nelson getting to the ball when the ball's in the air.
Done a great job converging on the football. I mean, that's just excellent play in the back end there. 2nd and 10 here now. They're right on the, right in this high red area,
Double post, coach. That's what I'm calling here.
That's what you're calling. 2 wide receivers to the right for Linehan.
Let's see got the coverage for it. You got the coverage for it.
How about Oliver up the middle? That's what I was thinking.
And they did this earlier in the game where they ran it on 2nd and long, and now they got a 3rd and manageable. So you see them being in the quarters coverage 4 across, and they're able to, now they've got the advantage in order to run the football.
Well, great quickness here, obviously, by Brendan Oliver, being able to put his foot in the ground and make some guys miss and finding the hole and getting through it as well.
We saw that on a couple of runs earlier, specifically that 2-point conversion. 7 carries, 37 yards so far for Oliver.
Now we got a single high coverage here now. 8-man football up front.
There's Oliver again down to the 10-yard line.
It's going to depend on the spot here a little bit.
I think it's going to be close.
But even if it's close, I think they go for it again because you have.
They gave it to him, so it looks like we got a 1st down here.
You know what I like to call that situation? Whose weight room is bigger? Who wants it more? Right? Who's been in the weight room this offseason? Who's been putting those weights so we can drive our legs and create?
Now this is the offensive coordinator's nightmare. 1st and 10 from the 10.
Yeah. As Asiata checks into the game for the Stallions. Takes the pitch. Picks up 3. Trenton Thompson, nose tackle out of Georgia.
You can see Big Trent there now. Looks like he's stiffening up a little bit there. Mo.
Coach, it's getting late in the game. Guys are getting a little tired.
Yeah, it is. This is Trent's going out now. It's almost further to run to the sideline than to stay in there.
Sometimes you have to make that choice as a player. Do I want to run off the field, or do I want to take this next play, hopefully, to go into that sideline?
Asiata is still in the game for the Stallions.
All right.
It's not going anywhere. Stacked up, Steven Johnson, Bo Harness.
Bo Harness again. Our guy Will Sutton in there as well.
So impressed with Will Sutton, though. At Arizona State, he was known as a pass rusher. Yeah. Tonight, he is stuffing the run.
Yeah, he was one of those tweener guys, good athlete, interior player, who's played with a lot of vertical penetration here at ASU.
Gave UCLA a lot of problems at Arizona State. I didn't like it.
And when he went to Chicago, they were playing a 4-down front, and he was effective, for that.
You can see the time eating up on this drive. We're coming up on 6 minutes for the Stallions. Linehan to the end zone, back in the end zone,
great
caught.
job.
Nick Truesdale gets both feet down. Tight end's doing some work for the Stallions tonight.
Well, tight ends in the red zone, those are your go-to guys because they have such a big target. You're able to throw the ball up. Well, first of all, great job identifying it, getting the ball to him high in the back end of the end zone, 1-2.
Nice
Tony
job
toe
by
tap.
Truesdell with his feet, but Matt Linehan with that throw, his delivery, the high delivery, good accurate throw, tight, high, up on his eyes. It's us or nobody, as the offensive coaches say.
Yeah, you got to have a guy that can jump and almost dunk on the goalpost.
That's right. And that's where you tell him you're going to put it. So he's expecting the ball up there.
Tremendous athleticism for a guy that's 6'5", 250, 2-point conversion here. Linehan with time tries to thread the needle to Asiata. Steven Johnson got a hand on it. So it's going to remain 35-22, just over 11 and a half minutes to go in the first game of the season for the Salt Lake Stallions and the Arizona Hotshots. Touchdown pass from Matt Linehan, his first of the season, to Nick Truesdale.
For the first time in the history of pro sports, here's the app as fast as every player in the game. The Alliance app delivers revolutionary technology, real-time play-by-play gaming, instant interactivity. Truly a game changer. Get the Alliance app today. Live predictive gaming at full speed. Call the plays. Unprecedented and at your fingertips. Available in the App Store and Google Play today.
Is this beautiful $5 pitcher from Buffalo Wild Wings half full or half empty? Well, that depends, really. Are you from New England? Come in this weekend for $5 select pitchers at Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right, back after the Stallions touchdown. Hotshots ball on the 25, 35-22. Just over 11 and a half to go as Stallions head coach Dennis Erickson trying to call it a comeback here in the season opener of the Alliance at Sun Devil Stadium. Wolford working out of the shotgun with Justin Stockton to his left. Stockton takes the handoff, and he's going to pick up the first down.
Running hard there, looking very explosive. Once he gets the ball, recognizes the hole, puts his foot in the ground. And that's important, Coach, because so many times you have guys that are dancing a little bit. Stockton gives you a little bit different than what Presley gives you. Presley's elusive, he can cut.
Right.
Stockton's going to be a downhill runner, and he's going to run through arm tackles.
And this is the drive now that makes you a good football team. Is you got to lead. It's in the fourth quarter. Now we got to go put our foot on the back of their necks.
Eat up some clock. Run the ball down their throat. Stockton in the game once again. Tries to turn the corner, and he does. Stockton picks up 6 before Cody Brown wrangles him out of bounds.
You know, when I look at the Hotshots backfield, it reminds me of the New England Patriots. They have 3 or 4 guys that can do a little bit of everything. Stockton being a guy that can be explosive both in the running game and the passing game.
That's one of the things that Phil Savage told me he thought about in their camp, that they had to release running backs that he felt all were good enough to play, and which was impressive.
Running backs to wide receivers. Mulaney on that catch. You talk about the versatility of these guys. Larry Rose, 133 catches during his college career.
There's that rushing stat you talked about earlier, Dan, and the Hotshots are leading it right now.
Faking the handoff here. Wolford rolling out to his right. And he's keeping it.
He's a smart player, you know.
Investment banker, Coach, what do you expect?
Well,
valid point.
He's having fun now, right?
Yeah.
You know, then he'll go back to that.
Yeah,
you know,
he still loves the
trying
game.
to get a chance in the National Football League, and then, you know, he's got that to fall back on.
And how about the fact you're going to make a little money in this league now? You signed a 3-year, $250,000 contract. Exactly. And the really cool thing is they have the potential to earn significantly more money through performance bonuses.
And they're performing tonight.
You took it right out of my mouth, Coach.
2nd and 2 for Wolford. And again, they're going to keep it on the ground. This time it's Stockton. Wolford has been very impressive, as has this running game. And one of the reasons they just said, you called it a spark. I think Phil Savage told me he was magic when he was running the RPO. He just had it.
Well, unfortunately, this season I had to experience one of those sparks a couple times up the state from me a little bit in Baker Mayfield, and this kid reminds you a lot of Baker Mayfield and what he's doing.
That's a great comp, coaches. This one's out complete to Thomas Duarte.
I guess that's why I'm here.
No, Coach, no. Coach,
Baker didn't send you here.
No,
blame it on Baker.
I think Baker
Coach,
did.
it's all right. It wasn't Baker that did that to you. You did an amazing job with the Baker. You beat me a couple times. I don't know if that's saying much of anything, but, you know, getting the ball out quick, though. Wolford does a phenomenal job of just identifying who he wants to go to, and the ball is coming out in 1.5 seconds.
He's very decisive.
False start. Offense number 89, 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, I think it'll really be interesting to look at the NetGen stats of this offensive team when they, you know, and how quickly they're getting not only the playoff, but how quickly the ball is coming out of John Wolford's hand.
No, that's a great point. And again, just to remind you, Trevor Knight also on this team. He was the Hotshots First pick in the quarterback draft, the 6th quarterback selected in the league, and Wolford beat him out. An impressive resume for Trevor Knight at Oklahoma.
Yeah. You know, as I remember, Trevor Knight was 11-4 at Oklahoma, and then Baker sent him on his way too. He's like me.
Well, Baker's done it to everybody.
Hey, Coach.
Also played at Texas A&M as well. Finished his college career there. We did expect and could see him at some point tonight. A very gifted athlete, good running quarterback.
Can run really well. Ran well at the combine. But also maybe a package later down the road, right? In some tough games, you may have a package for him and his ability to run.
We're getting down under 7 minutes, man, in this game. And again, these are the kind of drives that define you as a football team.
Wolford pressured.
Just tuck it away and
He's
go.
He's going to do it again.
Wolford carries.
Smart play.
He's a smart football player.
Not only is he smart, Coach, but he's athletic as well. He has the speed and can run. Reminds me, and I may be a little crazy with this, but Russell Wilson, the ability to run, knows when to slide, knows how to get down before things get a little dangerous for you.
There's Brant Weiss down again. That's the 2nd time we have seen Weiss go down with an injury this ball game. I'm loving all the comps that you guys are giving. I'm hoping those keep coming the rest of the way. I didn't think Baker, but as soon as you say Baker, I'm thinking, he does look a little bit like him in terms of body type and how he moves out there in terms of Wolford.
I had the opportunity to stand on the sideline and witness it a couple of times, but just when you watched him, when he got the opportunity to go in the football game this year against the Jets, and the magic that he showed and how he sparked the football team and literally turned their season around.
Yeah, it was very impressive, and that one of the more desirable jobs this year in Cleveland because of Baker Mayfield.
Well, I really think the staff there, they Hugh, and when he was there as the head coach, and they did a good job of drafting players, and they've got good talent there with the Cleveland Browns.
They did a good job of acquiring draft picks as well.
I mean, both ways.
You get them, and then you have to pick the right guys. And John Dorsey, coming in his first year, getting Callaway and Nick Chubb in the 2nd round, a lot of rookies that you leaned on as well.
You know what John Dorsey's probably doing tonight?
Listening?
Yep.
You better be.
I'll bet you he's watching.
He should be.
He's a football junkie.
Why wouldn't you be? It's your job.
This is where all these guys are trying to get back, is to the NFL, obviously. And Brant Weiss helped off the field. And there are a number of guys on this field tonight that look like NFL players. There's a reason that 80%, 81% of the league at some point in their NFL or in their careers have signed NFL contracts. Rick Neuheisel.
Again, big 3rd down here now. And John Wolford wants to do a nice job. Just take care of the football here. We got points. Okay, let's not force it.
3rd and 11. They're going to run the draw. And
Presley carries.
Presley taken down right at the line of scrimmage by Darius Hamilton.
Yeah, well, here, nice conservative call. I think I would have probably went receiver screen in this play, just to get my guy. First, I'd have went to my kicker and said, "Okay, Nick, which hash do you want it on? Call the screen to that side, or if you like in the middle, we'd have found another way." But try to give my guy a chance with some blockers in front to make a play.
But obviously, in the alliance here, this is literally a 2-score game. If he makes this field goal, it'd be down 16. So again, 2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions. We have a tie ball game.
There's plenty of time. 38-22. Folk field goal is good. Hotshots put more points on the board. Can they eclipse the 40 scored by Orlando? Take a look at the quarterback numbers here for Salt Lake and Arizona. That's Matt Linehan coming in for the injured Josh Woodrum, who pulled a hamstring not long ago. And John Wolford been taking all the snaps for Arizona. Wolford putting up some numbers. 4 touchdown passes, almost 300 yards.
Yeah, Garrett Gilbert was the guy coming in leading that MVP race early on with 3 touchdown passes for the Orlando team. But now you see Wolford coming in 4 touchdown passes, no interception, taking shots downfield, looking real accurate.
Our quarterback comparison brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Is Linehan trying to get anything going here? Joel Buonio going to be in the backfield, but you can be sure they're going to be throwing the ball a little bit here.
Well, we talked about the drive to define the offense. This drive defines Coach Alioti's defense.
2 wide receivers to the right for Linehan. Looks left, throws left. Too low for Bell.
Bell is a great player at the University of Nebraska. Tremendous receiver. I don't know if you remember the catches he made, but he knew he had that big afro, and when he'd make those game-winning catches, he'd take his helmet off, and you see all this hair. It's exciting to see him out here as well, getting an opportunity to show what he can do.
First Nebraska player with 400 or more receiving yards 4 years in a row. This time they keep it on the ground. Buonio about 4 yards shy of the first.
Well, again, there's that draw run on 2nd down, trying to get half of it back to make it a more 3rd and manageable situation. Next week when they play Birmingham, they'll be sitting on those plays.
Oh, yes, they will.
Keeping it on the ground. Buonio not going anywhere. Stacked up, Raheem Yates sends him to the turf after a gain of 1. Will Sutton there as well.
MJD, I think they got to go for it here. They can't afford to give the ball back, needing 2 scores.
Well, the running back, you had a hole there. You just got to run in there. When you see that little glimpse, it's going to close quickly, but if you're able to squeeze through there, you may have an opportunity because 2 defenders overran the play.
So they will indeed go for it under the 5-minute mark here in the ball game. Linehan pressured, eludes the sack, throws it and completes the ball. Wow. Pearson L hauls it in. Great work by Linehan to not only complete the pass, but escape the sack as well.
Pearson L trying to atone from the fumble punt earlier. He makes a big 4th down conversion catch. Pressure there by Will Sutton again,
He is not escaping Sutton this time.
That's what he does, Coach.
That's what he does.
He's going to find ways. He's going to get that interior pressure. We hear so much about Aaron Donald and how hard it is to be able to stop. You have a guy in Cincinnati who's with you.
Geno Atkins, who proved that you don't have to be 6'3" to be effective. 6'4" is an effective inside rusher. Aaron Donald, comes in the league and hits the ground running as well. But what those guys don't get credit for is Geno, particularly how great he plays the run.
Yes.
Back to throw on 2nd and 17. Oliver can't hold on.
If you look at what they did here, Coach Iota with more of a drop 8 coverage there now. Again, showing like they're coming pressure and then dropping 8 defenders.
This defense is flying around as well. And different guys are dropping out.
Yeah.
And that's the key is when you're running a 3-4 defense, you don't have to rush all 5. And you can just pick 2 guys to rush. You can pick 3, you can pick 4. Just be different guys that you have to account for, and it messes up your protections.
There's 3 seconds on the play clock. They barely get this one off. Linehan struggling to keep his balance, and that's incomplete.
Well, Coach, you're in 4 down territory.
Yeah,
so
they're in 4 down territory here. That's why really they're just trying to get half of it back. Well, it looks like they're bringing on one of the kicking teams here. You try to get half of it back. You don't want to be a 4th and 17. You want to make it a 4th and 7. Now you make a better decision. You have a chance to go for it.
I'm nervous kicking it to Ross right now. The way he's playing, he's in what we call the zone.
Well, I'm telling Ross, you fair catch this football, son.
No, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
You tell him. I thought we were trying to develop.
Well, he didn't go anywhere near that.
Coach Newhastle told him, son.
This opening weekend, the Alliance is launching Touchdown for Team Rubicon. For every touchdown scored in every game this month, the Alliance will donate $1,000 to Team Rubicon, a veteran-led nonprofit that helps communities recover after a natural disaster. You can find out more and join the effort at aaf.com/donate. Just under 3.5 to go here. See what Wolford and the Hotshots can do. Stockton wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Darius Hamilton